401k company match and up to $500 a month in bonuses and lots more. With lots of opportunities for advancement. We can train you in skills that will always be valuable. Painting is a rewarding job. We bring joy to. Join Nolan Painting and be part of a winning team. Apply at nolanpainting.com.
Hey, it's Cuz. Especially good way. NJ Diet's contractually guaranteed money-back program starts with personalized supplements based on your hair, saliva, and blood work. Right. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to create your ideal diet plan and workout regimen to help you keep it off for the rest of your life. It's all about the science, right? Our body composition. Everybody's different. This is what makes NJ Diet incredible. And NJ Diet with you every step of the way. Fully monitored by their certified staff to make sure you're burning fat, not just losing water. You'll have access to the doctor's personal email, phone number. NJ Diet committed to you keeping the weight off, all natural, no shots, no hormones, no prepackaged foods, and no surgery. With offices in Princeton, King of Prussia, or Cherry Hill, available from home with live online video consultation. Lose 20 to 40-plus pounds in only 40 days, contractually guaranteed. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5.
The show starts now.
I can only tell you what 3 o'clock in the morning looks like in Las Vegas. After an Eagles loss, it looks beaten. It looks quiet. All the Eagle fans that flooded the streets for 2 or 3 nights appear to be resting sleepy in their beds as the Eagles go down to defeat yesterday to the Las Vegas Raiders in the worst road game I've ever witnessed. I believe I've seen 20-something, 20-plus road games in my life. And the Eagles right now, that was the worst crappy piece of poop performance I have ever seen. Completely atrocious. And the more I got away from it, I was thinking, okay, this is going to get better. It's not going to seem as bad. An hour later, 3 hours later, 4 hours later. Well, that's absolutely incorrect. It feels completely terrible as we start today. There's nothing positive about this football team. What do you point to as the positive? Do you point to coaching as positive? Absolutely not. You have a head coach who looks completely overmatched with an offensive game plan that, honestly, there are high schools in the state of Pennsylvania who are running more complex offenses than you've got, and enough blaming that on Jalen Hurts. As was pointed out last night on ESPN, if people saw it, Jalen Hurts ran a more complex offense at the University of Alabama. It's not like he doesn't understand things. I believe it's the head coach who doesn't understand. The defensive coordinator, I am so glad that I'm able to finally tell you. I tried to convince Bob and Jamie and Pat all summer long that Jonathan Gannon, well, I can't do that either because I told you that I was very confident about Jonathan Gannon. He's been terrible. And it's getting worse. In some ways, it's getting worse. They look completely overmatched. And that's not a good thing. Because when the Eagles season, we did not expect wins and losses. We all were in the same relative ballpark. But one thing I did not expect was complete incompetency from the coaching staff on display. I expected yesterday to be a day that we would see things start to click. There would be a connection. There's no connection. There's no synapses firing. Jeffrey Lurie somehow got lured into these coaches. Now, can they turn it around? I guess. Am I confident they're going to turn it around? I got to say no, because they've given me 7 weeks of data to work off of, and I don't feel it. 6 a.m. hour brought to you by our friends at Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White here for the pro. Bob and Pat here with me in Vegas. We have Jamie at home taking care of baby Paige, and I hope he's doing his job. Connor and Mike are with us here. Coach back in the studios too, and Dylan pushing all the buttons for us on the John Kincade Show. Bob, I need a breather. please feel free. Go at it.
Yeah, I don't understand this team. I don't understand the coaching. I don't understand what they're trying to think of. They came out, had a really good first drive, 8 plays, 5 runs. You went 67 yards. You get a touchdown. All right, things look good. You get an interception, and then you go 8 plays and 6 times you throw the ball. And one of the 2 runs was a quarterback run. You handed the ball off once to Miles Sanders. Like, what? I don't know what more needs to hit you in the face than to say, why don't you keep doing something that worked instead of trying to reinvent the game? I don't understand this coaching staff. What's worse? It doesn't matter what I feel, what you feel, John, what Pat or Jamie feels. Players are now coming out and just saying, I have no idea what the hell is going on here. I mean, you had Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert, of all people. A guy who probably wants you to pass the ball, says, we run the ball on these guys. We knew what they were going to do defensively, and yet we got away from it. Like, what in the hell are you doing?
They panic, Bob. He panics.
He goes back
Every
to
time
like
he panics.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And I don't know what Jonathan Gannon's doing either. I mean, how can you let Derek Carr have a career day? 31 for 30. He missed 3 passes, 31 for 34. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's terrible. Now, Jamie, are you from a distance? We were in the building for it. How did it look on television?
Probably worse.
I got to imagine it was worse.
It was awful. There wasn't one good thing outside of that first drive, and Avonte Maddox making 2 plays on the first drive. That was it. It's pathetic. I haven't been surprised by much this season. This was the first weekend where I was kind of floored at how bad they were. I don't think the Raiders are world beaters by any means. I probably undervalued Derek Carr somewhat in my analysis of this game.
I think you did a little watching yesterday.
I mean, he went 84. Well, they made it easy for him, too. But, yeah, I was kind of floored this weekend because now you're seeing some veterans come out, and this is a point in the season now where if you don't beat Detroit, you could probably lose a lot of that locker room. Just judging from the outside looking in, it looks like it's trending in that direction. And that's the most concerning thing of all, because the wins and losses don't really mean that much in the grand scheme of this season. But if you're having a culture where you're imploding from within after 8 weeks, that's not good.
And they absolutely are imploding. Pat, you and I both thought we did not feel good about the game.
No.
Do you feel worse about it afterwards? Because I certainly do.
No, not really.
Really?
I expect them to get blown out.
You
so
did.
They got blown out. I mean, look,
this team stinks.
We'll
in
always
Pat's
have.
words.
No, I say sucks.
Sucks.
Oh, okay, my
Team
fault.
Pat used the sucks.
And they suck. But look, we'll always have the opening drive. They can never take that away from us. They should have stopped the game right then and there.
And the interception.
They
had that too.
So if you want some positives, no, we harp on the run game. Like, they ran the ball 5 times in the opening drive.
Right.
And then for the rest of the game, they ran it 13 times.
It's unbelievable.
Like, what the hell are you doing?
There's no defending this head coach.
It's laughable.
He does not know what he is doing. And when I say that, I mean he does not run a complex offense. He doesn't just run the ball. He absolutely ignores best practices in the NFL over and over again. And I've been harping on it since the beginning of the year. And now every national media outlet seems to be running with it, NFL Network and ESPN. I mean, this is a embarrassing offense to run. And stop blaming it on Jalen Hurts. It was pointed out again. Jalen Hurts ran a much more complex offense at Alabama.
Yeah, but he
had a
too.
great team. Oh, no. We'll get to Jalen.
Okay.
We'll get to Jalen.
All right.
But he's also not being put in a position to win.
No.
They're
He's
both
being
terrible.
put in a position that he has to throw the ball constantly, Bob, all the time. And he has no choice. He's on the run.
Yeah, I don't know what Nick Sirianni sees out there. I don't know what he's trying to do. Look, can you go into a game and try to, implement what you want to do and then find out if it's good or bad and then adjust? That seems to be coaching 101 to me. He goes in. He seemed to implement what he wanted to do yesterday in the first drive. The run game was terrific. And then he just decides, let's go back to what we used to do before. You were up 7-0. And, yeah, you got the ball deep in your own end zone deep in your own end after the interception. why are you changing things up so much?
And you usually run in those situations.
I mean, Pat and I went out at halftime to get a bite to eat, and I heard a Raiders fan say,
I thought you
God.
went to the bathroom, you told us.
This is so easy. I heard a Raiders fan say this is so easy, watching their offense.
It is.
Like, I don't know what the defense is doing. It's kind of like, yeah, we'll give you what you want, and then when you're inside the 20, we'll try to stop you. I don't know. I don't see anything, as I said to you, John, before the season started. All I want is for every game to take something away from it, to say, okay, this is what we need to work on. This went good. Let's do this. Let's not do that. And I can't pull anything away from it except, in Pat's word, they suck.
We put tracking software, by the way, Jamie, on Adam Schefter's computer.
Yeah.
Pat learned how to hack it. He was searching last night for New York food that can be delivered because his backside's being handed to him right now.
6.5 is the line on that.
6.5's the line.
Still hope. It's a good one. Here, I got a number for you. You want to listen to this one?
No, I really don't. It's probably terrible.
It's 3, 8, 6, 5, and 8. 5 numbers. Those are the incompletions in a game by Derek Carr, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, and Jimmy G.
Wow. Say those numbers again, James.
Oh, my gosh.
3, 8. Yesterday was 3. Derek Carr had 3 incompletions. 8 from Brady, 6 from Mahomes, 5 from Prescott, 8 from Garoppolo.
Wow.
Okay, that's terrible. That is the worst.
That made my eyes jump out of my skull.
And we can see you right here. We're looking at those eyes. That is that is gigantic.
It's a big skull, too.
That's a big skull.
Big
Those are
eyes, big brain.
Pat, that number blows me away.
That's very concerning.
This team's terrible. This is a terrible football team.
Yeah, and Darius Slay's been pretty good this year. He's been locking guys down. There was a stat going around of basically who he's been covered on, and they haven't really gotten much.
No.
So I guess this is why you see why Steven Nelson was on the street for that long and their safety. I mean,
Steven Nelson, if they didn't need him, if the Steelers said, no, go, the Steelers, who could use help in their secondary this year, said, you go, we don't need you.
That's
and I kept
surprising.
asking, why was he available?
Yeah, I mean, Darius Slay's been good. Avonte Maddox has been really good, so it is surprising, though.
Steven Nelson's terrible. He's running around behind people half the time. Oh, my gosh.
He tries.
I don't care about how he tries.
This team is full of guys who try.
Oh, my gosh. Where's the coaching staff trying? We know you're probably annoyed, too. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. We'll give you opportunities to vent in the midst of the morning today because there's going to be a lot of people who need some sort of a intervention today. And we want to thank someone who came out already in the first hour of the show today. John Saletti and his beautiful wife were here 10 minutes before the show started, which means they were here at 2:50 a.m.
Nice.
to be here with us.
That's right.
So the Salettis are going to go out to dinner at Jasper's Backyard with a $100 gift card to start the day because I said that I said it in my mind last night. If any one of our traveling party gets their butts out of bed to come and see us in the morning, get a chance to meet us again.
Where are you, Pam?
That is unbelievable. I told Pam to sleep in.
No, she said to me yesterday, no matter what, I will be there tomorrow morning.
I know. I told her to sleep in. It's terrible.
Well, Connor owes them money. That's why they showed up.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, Connor made a bet, figuring, all right, well, I'll never see him again. And he owes them money, and they came
now you are
collecting.
the Salettis. The Salettis of New Jersey.
He's trying to pay him off with gift cards, which is smart.
Okay, well, the Jasper's Backyard gift card is a great one. Jasper's Backyard, thank you so much for being a part of it.
Great spot.
And rewarding people. Oh, it is a good spot.
Really good spot.
That is a really, really good spot. Jamie, you think the you always gauge social media very well. Where do you think the level of outrage is right now with this fan base after that game?
I think it's not outrage yet. It's more like, oh, no. It's more... we should have more hope in this coach. I think people are coming around on the Hurts reality. So I think it's more deflating than it is outrage.
Whoa, what you just said. You're telling me the people are saying we need to have more hope in this coach? Why?
No. I think people were hoping to have more hope in this coach.
Yes.
And they're realizing, like, oh, wow, this guy really does not look the part right now. I think it's just like the air got let out of the sails yesterday a little bit more than it is brimstone and fire coming out of our ears and mouth.
I would tell you that every single person who got in touch with our show, who got in touch and said after the initial press conference, said, oh, Nick Sirianni, it doesn't matter. Press conferences don't matter. If he's good in a press conference, he couldn't articulate what his vision is. He can't articulate it, and he doesn't. And he has no plan. His plan doesn't make sense. And I'll tell you, I'm disgusted with what I've seen. I don't remember ever seeing a coach look so overmatched. And don't give me Rich Kotite. Rich Kotite took a team to the playoffs and won a playoff game. When Buddy Ryan couldn't, he managed to get that done. Don't give me Rich Kotite. This is nothing like Kotite. Kotite, they were winner. They still won under Kotite. This guy, it's cartoonish. It is. It's a cartoon.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
You try to grab something onto Nick Sirianni and say, okay, this is what I like about him. This is what he does well, or I liked when he did this. In all honesty, and I'm not sitting here trying to say bash him, but what is there to grasp from him that makes you comfortable saying, okay, he knows what he's doing here, there, anywhere? Like, there's nothing that he's doing. There's play design, horrible. Something works, you don't go back to it. People are screaming for you to run the ball more, and you won't do it, even though it proved to work yesterday. They went under center. First series, Jalen Hurts was under center.
We were so excited.
He was handing the ball off. We were high-fiving each other.
Bob was
they were running all over the place. Pat and I were holding hands. Like, it was great. And then he gets to the next series, and it's like, forget what happened, what went well. Let's do something else. Let's go to my comfort zone, which is run-pass option, shotgun, all of the crap that doesn't work. I just don't understand this guy a little bit.
And on the flip side, the Raiders were running all over the place on you.
Oh, my gosh. Right through you.
And that's not really their offense necessarily. I mean, obviously, Josh Jacobs is a force, but, that their offense isn't exactly the Tennessee Titans where they're going to run all over you, just run it down your throat. That's what the Raiders are doing, but they stuck with it because it was working. It opened up the pass game. The Eagles, the first drive, it's methodical. They run the ball, it works, and then they just never went back.
Jamie, are you getting rid of your Singleton jersey today?
Yeah.
He gets carried 2 and 3 yards. When he even makes contact, the running back picks him up and carries him for 2 or 3 yards. He can't stop anybody.
Yeah, they don't really have NFL linebackers, and it amazes me. I mean, it's the lowest amount of money I believe ever invested in a linebacking core in the NFL.
It shows.
Oh, wait, they signed Eric Wilson.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, they have to address that. They can't they can't deny this any longer.
You know what we got to do? When guys are sitting on the street next off season, when guys sit on the street and there doesn't seem to be a market for them, we need to understand why there isn't a hot market. And if the best teams in the NFL aren't interested in guys, we don't need to be interested in them. That's the problem. We're shopping at places where we're shopping in aisles, Pat, where we're not finding quality items. We're not finding tasty items, as Anthony Gargano would say. We're not finding anything tasty.
Yeah, I'm more annoyed at the fact that they just don't develop them. Like, you got to put somebody in there, so fine, if you want to give Eric Wilson $5 million, it doesn't really matter. It's a one-year deal, but it's the fact that you draft Davion Taylor in round 3 and you barely play him. Now, he's been getting more playing time recently, but who would rather see Alex Singleton or Eric Wilson than Davion Taylor at this point? So
exactly.
What does that tell you,
their lack of investing in developing linebackers is troubling.
They don't trust these guys. They don't trust the draft picks either.
No.
They must not be developing.
And look, we talked about it last week where Jonathan Gannon comes out and says, Kerrigan's doing some things. You guys just don't see it. He's doing things to free other guys up. And
winning football, right?
Like, seriously, okay, they ran the ball.
Winning football for a 2-win team.
Yes. They ran the ball 29 times, the Raiders did yesterday, and Fletcher Cox had 2 tackles.
Oh, my gosh.
29 times they ran at your ass, and you had 2 tackles. And you have a defensive coordinator that's going to tell me, oh, no, you guys, they're fine. They're doing things for other people to make them make the plays.
We have so much more we're going to talk about all morning, and you can get in with us at 610-632-0975. We'll take some of your calls throughout the course of the morning. Your interaction on social media, too. You can get involved. Great job by the social media crew this weekend, whether it was Egan or Heavy Chevy or Connor, doing some great work, taking you behind the scenes of our trip to Vegas with Philly Sports Trips, which has been amazing.
I tried to get Connor to bring it, like when he went out to the clubs to film if he brought any girls back, but he struck out.
It was
repeatedly.
I saw the sports book this morning. Plus 870 now that Connor gets on the plane with hitting very much like JT Real Muto in the month of September.
Wow.
Very similar.
He won me $20 yesterday,
Very
so
similar.
that's all good.
How did he win you 20?
Something about getting a phone number or something like that. He said he could.
Well, you can curl up to a phone number.
Connor.
Now, Connor's the man. I feel like we're picking on him. Love you, buddy.
Connor's the opposite Ben Simmons. Like, he's always shooting.
Oh, he shoots.
Always
Yeah, oh,
shooting.
yeah.
If
He's
you
a
have
gun. He's a gunner.
shooting.
I would say he's a gunner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a pulse.
You're not seeing the ball.
No,
if
he's
you're playing with Connor, you're not seeing the ball.
He's Nick
Connor's
Young.
the best.
He's swaggy.
I'll tell you what. He's a wingman. He's an absolute wingman. I love Connor.
And I understand Heavy Chevy was going to wear his swimsuit to the show today, but we talked him out of it because he said, "Well, wait a minute. If Connor can wear one to John Durenboss's magic show, that's a story you're going to want to hear a little bit later on, where Connor went to a event in his swim trunks. He was the only one there. Only one there in his swim trunks, dude, Jamie. He was setting a trend.
I have seared in my brain the Heavy Chevy Connor and Pat Egan dance off that happened. That's nightmare. That's nightmare fuel.
You may want to retweet that. So
Yeah.
if people this morning did not see it, that was awesome, though.
In all honesty, though,
for work.
It wasn't even a contest. Egan just blew that one out of the water.
Christina asked, "You mean to tell me Pat has only one kid?"
Wow.
With those moves.
After a few females see the video, I'll have more than one kid.
I'm telling you,
because
that was some moves.
Pretty sure those moves got.
I
some
saw
women
some
pregnant.
women going, "Oh."
Yeah,
And
they felt it.
They felt it.
They felt it, Jamie.
Now,
You should have seen it.
A 17-year-old's analysis from my daughter was Heavy Chevy started out really strong, and then just gave up.
Well,
He had some. It was going.
He
but
tapped
wasn't-
out.
Yeah, but he wasn't. It's not like he was down 37-10.
He was getting there.
I mean, it was. He just gave up.
Heavy-
Sort of like
Heavy
Nick
Chevy-
Sirianni on the run.
Heavy Chevy and Connor were the Eagles. You know, it was a decent start, but I think we all knew how it was going to end.
And you were the rest of the NFL.
Oh my gosh!
Yes,
the rest-
you were.
the rest of the NFL.
Unbelievable. We will find out some of your stressed out emails from Hand and Stone that you sent to the 97.5 The Fanatic webpage. You
A
go to the
record
page.
amount.
A record amount today.
Yeah.
So people are really stressed out. Trying to get that free massage or facial.
Stressed or pissed?
Oh my gosh!
Which do you want to call it?
I think they're both. I think they're both extremely valid. And I understand we're returning to like flash floods or something in Philadelphia.
Oh, sweet.
We're gonna have like flash flooding and record warmth today. It is a record hot day. So we will have. We hope that you will join us too at 610-632-0975. I know this too. We've got a bunch of athletes that are trying to tell us how we should think and what we should do that we'll be talking about coming up. We got a couple lectures from the sports world that we're going to get to in the course of the show too. And I want to remind you too that we will have our friends that Business Roundtable say that with gas prices and groceries being so expensive, you want to make sure your congressmen know you don't want to push tax hikes on business with government spending to make inflation worse. Congress, protect hardworking Americans. That's what Business Roundtable wants you to know. So we're going to be all over it today. We hope that you will join us. A few winners, hopefully, on your sports betting this weekend, guys. Hopefully a few winners. I don't know. Egan's trying to cash a ticket out here, but we couldn't use our sports apps because we weren't physically in Pennsylvania.
It's the only bad part about Vegas.
That you can't use your Philadelphia sports apps, like the Park Sportsbook app for me.
It's rough.
Eddie
Barkowitz tried to warn us.
Eddie told you. You listened to him. By the way, remember, go to Parks Casino, parkscasino.com/PA. Download the app. You got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania. We learned that this weekend. If you got a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. So we'll find out who's lecturing you and how you should be acting and how you should be treating people. We'll talk about it next, plus more of your outrage, if you have it, on the Eagles. It's the John Kincade Show, live from Las Vegas here at the Mandalay Bay on the Fanatic. You know, today's vehicles require routine oil changes for maximum performance. They always have. But now you want to make sure your car is on the road and doing great things. You know, a full synthetic oil change is now just $59.95 at your local Meineke, and they're throwing in a free tire rotation. The semi-synthetic oil change is only $29.95. You can rely on Meineke for great maintenance for your car. Right now, you can get 50% off brake pads and shoes, which is a great deal. Sign up for Meineke Rewards, and they're also going to throw free towing in for you. you can go to your locally owned and operated, managed Meineke Center. So these people are your neighbors. They're your friends. You see them at church. You see them at the local store. Trust them to take care of your car, to do it right. And by the way, if you're looking for a job, Meineke is hiring. Go to Meineke.com/careers for more details, or call your local Meineke Center today. Take care of your car before the cold winter months, and tell them John Kincade sent you in.
This is the John Kincade Show.
Live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in PhillySportsTrips.com.
On 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
You're doing more online than ever before, so
Show.
Live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Brought to you by PhillySportsTrips.com.
On 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Betting tips from Pat Egan.
Won't be winning a Marconi for that one, boys.
The perfect show is just ended.
Yeah, no, it started early today. Temple football, by the way, don't miss Temple football battling UCF this Saturday at noon at Lincoln Financial Field. Kids tickets on game day are as low as $12. Visit owlstix.com. At least we had a good Temple game to be able to cheer for on Saturday.
Yeah, that was a buzzkill.
Yeah, a little bit of a
I
buzzkill.
thought they were going to win that game, too.
We want to hear from you, by the way. We will get to you at 610-632-0975. If you want to vent a little bit on yesterday's game, we've been venting a lot, and we will. Joel Embiid on Friday night made a plea. I'll call what he made is a plea to fans, and we're going to let you hear that audio of what Joel had to say. And Friday night, Coach was in attendance.
I was there as well. I saw Coach. Him and Cam stopped by.
Let's hear the audio.
Oh, what's up, guys? It's good to have you back. On behalf of my teammates, the organization, and myself, I just want to say thank you for your support. All these years, and then now, and a lot has happened the last few months, and I urge you guys to continue to support us and our teammate Ben, because he's still our brother. Let's go.
Really? Okay, so that to me was a very kind gesture on the part of Joel Embiid. I think that was very, very kind of him to do that and to include Ben Simmons in it. To me, that made a lot of sense. That makes complete sense to me, Bob. And I thought it was leadership. I think that's good leadership on his part.
Yeah, look. The Sixers have done nothing wrong in this whole thing.
They haven't.
As much as people for Ben Simmons will come out and say Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid shouldn't have said what they said, this wasn't a team that really fit Ben, whatever, the Sixers have done nothing wrong. They've just done what they've done, and they're just showing up for work every day. So to extend the olive branch like Joel Embiid did, yeah, it was
took a bigger man.
It's a show of like, look, there must be something wrong with Ben Simmons for why he feels like this. Because, in all honesty, we've done nothing wrong. That's what the Sixers are thinking. So, you don't have to double down and say screw him or whatever. Look, we're still here for you. We didn't do anything wrong. That's what the Sixers are saying. So, if you want to come back, come back. If you want to work on your game, great, work on your game. But this is going to be a long time coming, I think, how this is going to play out still.
How did you feel about Tobias Harris's message to the fan base, Jamie, about how we should treat Ben Simmons or how we should think about Ben Simmons?
I mean, yeah, he's a human first. I get all that.
I'm letting you go first because it's absolutely ridiculous to me.
I mean, he missed it. If he was actually going through something, this could have been nipped in the bud so long ago.
Sure.
Correct.
And he kind of brought the fight through his management company to the NBA and to the Sixers, and now it's a retreat. I want to believe him. I do, because it wouldn't shock me at all if he was going through something. We've always said it's a mental block on the court. And then he had some obvious family issues that is terrible. So, I want to believe it, but he completely bungled the way they managed this, because if he had just come out after that series or at some point this summer, before the Sixers, his teammates, and the fan base all got dragged through the mud in his wake.
Yes,
it's a totally different situation.
Or before Wimbledon, Pat, or before the lavish birthday parties, or showing how fancy his cars are, or showing you that he can't wait to get out of Philadelphia by here's my I'm going to be moving. There was a series of missteps before all of a sudden now it's no. Tobias Harris wants you to remember. This guy, just give him his time, give him his space.
What's wrong with that?
It's ridiculous. Give him his space. It's been months.
John,
Pat,
we did a whole segment of telling the fan base, don't boo. And now we're telling...
No,
we did. I remember it. I was there. And now we're telling his teammates who heard him out that they can't go out and tell the fan base, give him time?
Don't boo?
Yeah.
No. They're asking you right now to ignore every single thing that was done this offseason.
No, they're telling you to support him.
Exactly.
AKA
every single thing that they...
I took it as don't boo.
He was told through his people, He allowed the message to be out there. He's done with Philadelphia. He's done with the fans there. He'll never play in front of these people again. Yeah. He doesn't want to. He never once stood up and put his voice to it and said, no, that's not the case. That's not how I feel. That's not what I want. And now I'm supposed to believe that it's like something that, you got to back off.
But he's the poster boy for there was clearly mental weakness, whatever you want to call it. He was the poster boy for it. Like, we all sat here and said that when he puts up Instagram photos of him, at the gym or having lavish dinners or stuff, it was a front. It was trying to show you, look how great my life is. But clearly he was hurting because clearly he follows all the comments, all the interviews, he loves me not. Like, he's the poster boy, in my opinion, for a guy who was burnt out and was mentally fragile.
Then you know what you do, Pat? It's only been, how many months has it been since the final game?
Oh, yeah.
Well, about 4 months?
Yeah, about that.
Okay, 4 months. You know what you do? You don't have to stand and talk in front of a microphone. You don't have to do. All you have to do is sit there. You can obviously work your Instagram. You know how to do it.
He does.
You need to put out a message, and you need to just tell the people that. If that was the issue all along, you need to put that message out. This is not the message that was delivered at all. Just put the message out. If that's the case, you don't have to speak to anybody. You don't have to be. And this city would have embraced him completely on that.
Yeah.
Completely embraced him.
But I'll go this way. Who has he hurt the most with his actions is his teammates. I mean, forget the fans and all that stuff.
No question.
And if the teammates are ready to say, look, back off a second, guys. I don't care what we think we know as radio hosts and fans or whatever. The team knows everything more than we do. So if the guys in the locker room who he's talked to are saying to us, back off a second, let it go, I think we have to listen to that. Because I really do think that they know a whole lot more than we know right now, and there must be something going on there. I don't think they're just saying this because, we need him back to be a better team. I think it's more than that. I think they're saying back off. As a human being, he needs us to back off a little bit. But I hear what you're saying also. We haven't jumped on it. It's not our fault that we've had this reaction. So there's both of these things. But if I were to sit back as a fan, as a follower or whatever, I would say, okay, I'm going to listen to his teammates because they know more than I do.
Jamie, Thursday, if we're listening to his teammates, Thursday, Joel Embiid behind a microphone told us, I'm done with this guy. I don't want to. I'm not going to talk about him. I don't want. He's not here. He's not. I'm done, and I'm not going to babysit somebody. And then it's a completely contrary message. Do you believe that another message was received personally that changed people's opinion, or this is protect the organization, protect his trade value?
I do think there's probably a couple contributing factors. Friday morning, if he actually did bare his soul to the team, how could you not have the back of a guy you've battled with for 4 or 5 years? I mean, there's a human element there where, of course, you want to accept him back if he's hurting. I also think there's a degree of not selfishness, but Joel coming out and saying that they don't want to listen to bleep Ben Simmons chants for 3 hours every game.
I think that's it.
I think they're trying to nip that in the bud. Like, hey, he might not be with us, but we don't want to hear about it all year. So it was a kind of a way to try and neutralize the fan base, and it'll probably work to a degree. But I just think they're just done with the distraction of it and want to move forward.
A fan base that completely supported this guy, Pat.
Yeah.
100% unequivocally to the end of the season, to the last minutes of Game 7, they completely supported him.
Yeah.
And now this guy doesn't give any message to the fan base that he trashed. Doesn't give any message to that at all. And it takes 2 minutes, and obviously he knows social media well, to just put out a statement. If that's what it is, put out a statement.
Well, I think the problem is, and we talked a little bit about this Friday, is I think there are just some athletes that genuinely do not care what the fan thinks. Now, Ben Simmons is not that guy, but there are certain sects of players that go, I don't owe the fans anything. Just because they pay money and they cheer, I don't owe them. So I believe that whatever he told them in this meeting, he bared his soul, resonated with them somehow, because you're right. It went from, I'm done with this guy to let's support him.
24 hours later.
I didn't think about the fact, though, and Jamie brought up a good point, they're not going to want to listen to bleep Ben Simmons chants, but I do think that him just admitting there was something else going on and he needed time, I think it hit home.
Yeah, they have eyes, too. Like, real quick, sorry. The parking lot down there before the game, I mean, there was a ton of Mr. Softy tees with Ben Simmons' face on the ice cream truck. There was the missing tees where he was, black and white behind bars. So they see what a monster this is, and that's why I say they want to try and nip it in the bud for themselves.
And this is a monster who created the Philly fan base or Ben Simmons?
Oh, Ben Simmons.
And his camp. And Clutch.
Yeah, absolutely.
They created this. Not anyone in this town did not create this.
There's a possibility that talk that he had with teammates and coaches might have been really powerful. Like, there might have been something that the teammates, like, they went in with their heads down like, oh, cripe, I got to listen to this guy. And then he started talking. It was like, oh, wow. There might be something going on more than we know. Joel Embiid's words may have been really true to the point of, like, listen, without saying it, listen, this guy's got a problem going on. We need to back him up. I'm going to lean that way. I'm going to trust what the players are saying. I'm not going to say it's a front yet. I think it's more of there's something going on that we as fans and followers don't know about that might be a little deeper than we all know.
All right, everybody's a little stressed out by a lot of different stories that are going on. 610-632-0975 if you want to share a thought. Pat, I know some people are stressed out from our friends at Hand and Stone Massage. So you said a record number of emails coming in by people who were stressed out yesterday. It's your opportunity after every single game of the Eagles season to respond on our website. Tell us why you're stressed out. Tell us why the Eagles are sort of pushing all your buttons. And yesterday you said a record number of people stepped up.
Yeah, we had a record number.
Do the birds have you stressed out? Let's find out how stressed.
Yeah, record number of people that hopped on the website there in the contest page is where you can find it. And you just shoot an email and tell us why you're stressed out. I think there were more people that were pissed off than stressed, but hey, when you're pissed, it causes stress. So,
absolutely.
The first one we'll go to is we'll go to Michelle Curry. And This was a good one. Defense bad, offense bad, special teams bad, coaching bad, Philadelphia Eagles bad, business decisions made by too many players, horrible effort. So
she summarized it in what word? Bad?
I would say
bad.
she used the word bad.
She wasn't bad.
No, she was good.
She was good.
She was good.
Yeah.
And then the next one we'll go to is Jeremy Goodman.
All right, Jeremy.
And Jeremy Goodman said, at this point, this is a chore to watch this team. They are painful. I don't know why I invest 3 hours. Maybe I need to get with John Kincade and watch Good General Hospital.
Yes, he could. Well, he can DVR that, and you can watch it at any time. I like him.
So Michelle Curry and Jeremy Goodman will win the gift cards.
Very good.
Jeremy on demand. If you haven't set you can go back and catch up a little bit.
I don't think he was.
Well, then he won't be stressed out. He'll be chilling out. He'll be chilling out. I worry about that with people, though. I worry at what point does this fan base, Bob, just say, I can't watch this. It was aggravating yesterday. That was an aggravating watch. They're not fun to watch. They are annoying to watch. And nothing ever changes. And Nick Sirianni just has diarrhea of the mouth. He'll come out again today, and if he says self-scout. Dookie! I mean, one more time, have the drinking game of self-scouting and dog mentality, because there was no dog mentality yesterday. And by the way, the offensive line, that was like a puppy's mentality, because they got.
Yeah, what happened to the tackles yesterday?
What was going on, dude?
Bad.
Jamie, what was going on, honestly?
I mean, obviously, when Lane leaves, that kind of screws you up a little bit. My Mailata was a turnstile yesterday.
He was
terrible. It was like a Winston Justice type of game. I don't know what happened yesterday. Hopefully, it's an anomaly. That was weird.
You look at the team and you wonder, where's their want? Where's their want to play? Where's their want to be better? Where's the
right?
And to me, it goes to coaching. Like, when you don't believe in what your coaching staff is giving you to work with, it's like going into a gunfight with a knife. I mean, it really is. And that appears what it looks like now. And then the comments after the games. And, Dallas Goedert asking you to run the ball, backhandedly saying we need to run the ball more when he's a pass-catching tight end. That's crazy. And I just don't see a lot of want in this team right now. And there was talk on Twitter last night, and Pat and I were talking about it on the walk back. Like, you hate to say, the worst thing that can happen is players quitting on their coaches. And I'm not going to even hint at saying that right now. But you really wonder how confident they are going into a game and what their coaches are asking them to do.
You know, you may not always need a new water heater, but when you do, we want you to choose our friends at Bradford White, because Bradford White is here for the pro. A nice cold shower afterwards, Jamie, might have been the way to go. I mean, I worry, Jamie, I worry about the investment. I worry about the energy from the fan base. I worry about people just checking out and saying something that is so important to this community that they just don't care about it. This is inept. This is ineptitude right now on display. And I'm not just talking by the players. The coaching staff, it's been terrible.
Yeah, there just seems to be a general downness across most of the sports right now. You're watching the Atlanta Braves go to another World Series. The Sixers have this obvious drama following them around. It's unfortunate because they look kind of intriguing. And then you have the Eagles. So it's just like, I feel like the fan base is just kind of in the dumps, kind of getting kicked in the ribs here over and over again. So, yeah, I think that's going to lead to maybe losing interest a little earlier than typically would have been. I feel like everybody's in a pretty low place right now.
Well, I mean, it's on the pecking order, though, Pat, this is supposed to be the honeymoon period for a guy like Nick Sirianni. This is supposed to be where we go, okay, he's a young coach and he's learning on the job. He learns nothing. And he says he's going to do one thing and he does another.
Well, that's the biggest problem
every
for
week.
me is the fact that it's the same product every week. And Bob laid it out perfectly. Like, what do you take away from this guy that makes you feel better as a fan moving forward? Like, what does he do well? And the answer so far is he buys T-shirts well.
Oh, yeah, he knows the pandering well.
So the best, and I'll put that in quotation marks, win of the season was your season opener against Atlanta. And Pat and I talked about this yesterday. Arthur Smith was horrible that first game. That's really the reason the Eagles won this game. Arthur Smith since has made adjustments to get his team to 3-3 after 6 games.
Correct.
He was out-coached by Nick Sirianni in game 1. Nick Sirianni hasn't done anything different, and it just turned out that an abysmal performance by Arthur Smith was the reason the Eagles won that game 1. But he's made adjustments down in Atlanta, and he's gotten his team to 3-3. Nick Sirianni's done nothing different, and that's why we're in the state that we're in right now of, can this guy be an NFL head coach?
I love how Jamie brought up, though, where the hell were the tackles? Because it's one of and Jason Kelce, too. It wasn't a good game for Jason Kelce.
Yeah, when
Bad
you see
penalty.
Kelce, kind of losing his cool like that.
Yeah, what's that about?
That tells me things aren't going too well in that locker room. He's Mr. Stability. He's a leader on this team, has been for a long time. When he's freaking out, and look, it was kind of I saw where he was coming from a little bit.
You did?
I thought it was.
Was it
like
that they were?
I thought he was safely on the ball,
but they were getting their backsides kicked.
Yeah, they were.
Where
I
was
think
the fight, though? Where's the fight? Not just the mental breakdown when you're like, you're getting pissed off and you take a personal foul. Where's the pissed off about the fact that I'm getting beaten, that we're getting beaten on every play? Because Jalen Hurts had no chance yesterday. He had no chance. That offensive line did nothing for him yesterday.
Jalen Hurts might not have a chance. We'll get into.
We have something.
With a great line.
Yes, we brought something. We're going to wave it for Jamie. We'll just show it for Jamie here.
Yeah.
We brought it along on the trip, and we're going to find out a little bit later on in the show.
Where did you?
But
get
the
that?
offensive line definitely was part of why I was going.
Gym.
What the hell?
It's bad.
It's coming apart by the seams in this game.
I can't understand, Pat.
Yeah.
That how he's going to get up today and explain that, or is he going to put it off another day?
No,
is he going to say, I can't talk today because I have to come up with new ideas to be able to talk? Because he's going to talk about self-scouting.
Part of me blames myself.
What do you mean?
I was thinking of that, too. I was looking to blame you, too.
Yeah, Bob's always looking to blame me, but since the season started, I've been hopping on the Fanatics.com and looking for a Jordan Mailata jersey, and they didn't have him in my size.
Correct.
And yesterday before the game, I hopped on, and they had him in my size.
Oh,
so I'm sorry, guys. You can get one for Paige then.
And I'm not sorry. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, it'll fit Paige. Yeah, it was noticeable. And yesterday, a few times, me and Bob, and you guys know I'm a huge Mailata fan, but me and Bob both were sitting there watching the game, going, "Oh God, he got destroyed on that play." And they just looked like they didn't have a clue on stopping the rush. Which is that was supposed to be a strength of this team, was the offensive line. Lane coming back, you felt better about the game as a whole. The run game to start, they're moving guys down the line, and it's just After that, it was a disaster.
We thought about it on Friday. You and I both predicted 14-point losses.
Yeah.
And that seemed, now cosmetically, Christina says to me last night, well, it wasn't too bad at the end. I said, that doesn't matter. This team scores more garbage points. Jalen Hurts has more garbage stats than any quarterback in the NFL.
They're fourth in the NFL in fourth quarter points.
It's terrible. And he is the garbage time quarterback. That's what happens.
Here's your deficits that they've had. 30-7 to the Raiders, 28-7 to the Bucks, 15-6 to Carolina, which they came back and won, 28-16 to the Chiefs, 27-7 to the Cowboys, 17-3 to the 49ers.
It's terrible.
Teams let their foot off the gas
Yeah.
because they know they can.
Exactly, because they know that this isn't a good team that's going to come back on you.
Yesterday was the first time Nick Sirianni's had a lead as a head coach, I believe.
What? Really?
Well,
I believe.
They
no,
won-
in Atlanta, they won
2 games.
32-6.
Weren't they down 3-0 early?
Oh, you're
I
talking
think
about
they
to start
said-
the
Oh,
game.
you mean to start a game?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, he's had a lead before.
Well, that's
but
a
it's-
great-
Yeah.
terrible.
I meant to start the game.
That's terrible, though. That is.
It was their first time protecting a lead.
Yep.
And they went away from the run.
We want to hear from some of you. You can jump in if you wish. 610-632-0975. We are live in Las Vegas at the beautiful Mandalay Bay with our friends from Philly Sports Trips. We'll tell you about some of the fun party that we had yesterday, which was great. Pre-game. We missed you, Jamie. And hopefully you caught some of the social media of the great fun we've been having out here. Coming up top of the hour, though, a decision by Nick Sirianni that just makes completely no sense that we haven't even touched on yet. It's the John Kincade Show, live in Vegas here on The Fanatic. And you heard Pat read the emails earlier. Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa wants to help you de-stress. It's a great thing to help you, they say, restore, relax, and refresh. And boy, we could all use it right now. And with an introductory price on a massage or a facial for just $69.95, it's absolutely awesome. And they have 57 spas in Philadelphia, South Jersey, Delaware, the Lehigh Valley. And you can even book your appointments online at handandstone.com. They accept walk-ins. They accept same-day appointments to be able to get you in. You may be feeling like you need it today. And remember, they've also got the Swedish massage, the hot stone massage, the couples massage. These are great ideas for the holidays, guys. Going and getting a gift card. Here's what you do. You go to handandstone.com. Handandstone.com. You can take advantage, get your massage or your facial at an introductory price of just $69.95. Restrictions do apply. You got to check the website. And I promise you this, the lady in your life's going to love it too with a gift from Hand and Stone. Go to handandstone.com.
This is the John Kincade Show.
Live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las
cosmetically close. I want to speak to Dennis McNeil.
What do you say, Dennis?
One of our fine listeners who sends this email, Pat, and he says, I turned the game off at halftime. I'm 44 years old, and it's the first time I've ever done that. He was done. First time ever. He says he checked out. That was before they went up 24-7. That was before the first touchdown of the second half. He was done with it.
Wow.
And that's,
so Jay Bink
terrible.
sends in a tweet to me, to your point about the garbage time touchdowns. He said they have 18 offensive touchdowns, 7 of which have been scored after trailing by 19-plus in the second half.
That's incredible.
Oh, my God.
That's incredible. Those numbers are absolutely mind-boggling. But I'm just going to say it again. Nick Sirianni ignores best practices. But what in the holy hell was the onside kick to start the second half? What was that? Nothing like giving
you got
up.
Any gum?
Nothing like giving a gift 30 yards up. Enough with the freaking gimmicks. Enough of it. That was the stupid. Your defense was getting run over. So what do? I think it'd be smart to take a risky play that puts us on a short field when we're already getting our asses kicked. Oh yeah, we're going to surprise them. To me, it's absolutely mind-boggling that this man's decision-making makes no sense. And that's what I cannot justify. As a fan, I want to support him. I want to support the Eagles coach. I want to think. Again, people compare Rich Kotite. Rich Kotite went to the playoffs. Rich Kotite took a team to the playoffs that Buddy Ryan couldn't year after year. This is nothing like Rich Kotite. Nothing at all. Chip Kelly, I heard somebody say, well, this is like the Chip Kelly years. Chip Kelly had 2 winning seasons to start. This is buffoonery on display right now with the Eagles. It's not getting any better, Bob.
Yeah, the hope is that it will. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I just got the feeling in the stadium yesterday and seeing the unbelievable amount of Eagles fans that were there. And
oh, my God.
You know, we talked about it on Friday, how many you think there will be, and we said, oh, maybe 30%, 25%. It was, and talking to a Raiders fan last night, we went out to dinner, it was close to 50-50.
It was really close.
It was really close to 50-50.
40 us.
It could have been, Pat, you're right.
It was so loud.
And I literally felt sorry for Eagles fans. You know, Pat and I made our way, I think it was around the early fourth quarter or whatever, third quarter. We made our way down. Westbrook texted us and said, hey, I'm here. And
thanks for that. We enjoyed that.
Well, we met up with, we had to sneak our way in, so we thought a crowd might not get it done.
But Pat said he went to the bathroom.
We did.
He did not say he was going down to hang out
with
Brian Westbrook.
You wanted a full itinerary. So we went down to go to the bathroom.
Then
while we were down there, we thought, let's get some food because we're already down here. And that while we're standing in line and Bob got a beer because that's, apropos. Beers with Bob. You have to when in Rome. That's when Westbrook texted him.
And then there was the text outage.
But my point being that as we were walking down to him, we passed so many Eagles fans, and just the despondent look on their faces. It was almost like, oh my God, they came all the way out here for this. And I'm sure Nick Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon, I'm sure they feel that they're not doing what this fan base wants from them. But I go deeper on that. Yeah, they want to do right by the fans. I don't think they know how to do right by the fans. I don't think they know how to coach professional football in the manner that they've been given to them as a head coach and a defensive coordinator.
Jamie, I think that's where it's at. I said the doubt right now that I have in the core competency of this coaching staff, I've never experienced anything like it as an Eagles fan, ever. And there's none to be made. There's no argument to be made on any of the other coaches. The other coaches came out of the box much, much better than this guy has.
Yeah, I don't have much to compare it to, other than maybe the roster's just way worse than I thought, and this is the best you can do with this team. I think people are scrambling for answers, and I don't know if the answer's not just they're just not good enough. Like top to bottom, not excusing the coaching staff, just from Howie to the coaching staff to the players, it all just stinks right now.
Well, Howie, we already know, is not good enough, Pat. I mean, when you look at the roster, he built this.
No,
this is what he built.
When we were waiting for the table last night, we were sitting next to a Raiders fan, and then Eagles fans were on the other side of him.
Okay.
And we were joking about the game, and I said, it's draft pick season. We're going for draft picks. And the guy said, well, do you have any faith that Howie Roseman will get it right? Well, no, but Howie might not be here. Because if Nick Sirianni was his choice, and this is the product you're getting, how do you justify bringing him back?
Because he goes, Howie, I have that Miami pick.
Well, yeah,
probably going to be a top 3 pick. Or excuse me, Jeffrey, I have that Miami pick. Let me see this out.
Yeah, it's look.
Yeah, but
he's
nobody's going to
Littlefinger.
buy. No one can buy that reasoning.
Well,
this fan base is not.
Jeffrey
gonna buy
Lurie
it.
might.
Well,
I mean, why is Howie Roseman still here? Do you know what I mean?
Well, he's here because of the Super Bowl. He's here because of that legacy and his connection to Jeffrey Lurie. This year, though, is a freaking bonfire, and he got to hire this coach. This is the coach they hired.
I think if he survived last offseason, he's surviving at least one more offseason.
How do you survive this? I mean, how do you survive?
Because it was expected. I mean, in reality.
No, this was not expected. Nobody was talking about
Nobody
the
thought they were
Eagles
going to be good.
Nobody talked about the Eagles being a laughing stock like this. Nobody. Even us we predicted less wins than you, Jamie. Nobody was calling for them to be. We did not expect 7 games into the year that the Eagles were going to be a bonfire.
My point is they've been a laughing stock now for over 12 months. So, it can't get worse to me than bungling the Carson Wentz situation and losing a Super Bowl head coach and they've been bungling things left and right. So if you can survive
the Carson Wentz situation.
Well, Carson bungled it, but
he did. Carson bungled that.
Well, there's internal concerns if you talk to enough people down there that Carson, there should have been concern.
Look,
in giving him a long-term contract. A lot of people were concerned about it.
Yeah. It's only been 3 years since you won a Super Bowl.
It's incredible.
You lost your head coach, your defensive coordinator, your franchise quarterback. You've brought in some people that seem to be inept at what they do or promoted to positions that they shouldn't have been promoted to as quickly as they were. I'm sorry. There's one stabilizing factor, and I shouldn't say there's one common denominator in it all, and it's Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman. I'm sorry. Everything that fell apart, those two guys are still remaining. Okay, I think they're key contributors of what I just said, too.
You want to bring something to the conversation, you can at 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. We've got an opportunity for you to get in right now, if you wish, to share some of your thoughts. We're going to get to some of our juror audio coming up, so that way you have an opportunity to hear from some of our jury members. And, Coach, from what I understand, it was like the best performance by our jury yet, really, really strong. We're going to get to hear every hour some of our jurors, and that was a really strong performance by them in a very, very difficult day. And you were watching it on TV. You even texted me at one point. You said, this team is just awful. They're awful to watch.
Yeah, I was wondering from your seats, are you seeing the same thing that we're seeing on TV?
Oh, boy.
It was awful. It looked like they had no clue what they were doing.
We had the hoagie mouths of all hoagie mouths behind us. And Bob and Pat were an aisle ahead, a little to the left.
We had good people near us.
The people behind us were the biggest mouth-breathing hoagie mouths that I could ever have been placed in the stadium. Right over my shoulder with a running commentary all game long. And their commentary was so stupid. At one point, I finally had enough, and I turned to the guy and I said, Jake Elliott is not practicing. He goes, he's got Jake Elliott out there practicing 60-yard field goals at halftime. What the hell's he doing? Fire Sirianni. And I just had to finally turn. I gave up, and I turned and I said, he's not practicing field goals, you. I didn't say you idiot.
You say it.
But I said, he is practicing kickoffs. And the guy goes, no. He's using that T right there. And I said, he won't be using that on a field goal attempt. Oh, yeah, you're right then. And he's like, fire Sirianni anyway. I was like, and they were terrible. They were frustrated. The mouth breathers. They were frustrated.
I don't call for people's jobs. I've never done that. I told you guys before.
Wait.
Do you really go do you have
Pats?
Do you have to
twice.
Do you have to seriously go into this off season wondering if this is the guy? Or
No.
is it a free pass okay, it was just his first year, but is this guy so overmatched that we should really be wondering if he's not the man for the job?
I just want everybody who told me the first press conference didn't matter, and that him being able to talk, that said over and over again, oh yeah, well Andy Reid couldn't talk. Well Andy Reid could, but he didn't have a good first press conference either, and Doug Peterson really didn't either. This guy cannot articulate his thoughts, and more importantly, he cannot put his thoughts into action. That's the bigger issue. Jamie, he can't come up with a plan, and every week Every week behind a microphone, he tells you that no, I understand the problem. We're gonna self-scout, and he does the same crap over and over again. It never changes.
Well, that's why yesterday was so perplexing from a coaching standpoint. I'd love to see what his first 15 or 20 plays were, because the first drive worked beautifully. And then you have a lead to protect. Avonte Maddox comes up with a nice pick for you down there at the goal line, and you come right back out and throw it.
That's unbelievable.
So after in your head, your first series was successful running the ball, and then you were just going to abandon it?
You know who's the happiest guy in the state of Pennsylvania that Nick Sirianni has been this poor?
James Franklin.
Jim at PJ's. Yes, Jim at PJ's texted me. And he said, what's the bigger dumpster fire? He goes, what's the bigger dumpster fire? Is it Nick Sirianni or is it James Franklin? It's James. It's James Franklin.
I think they're still in overtime
because he's had more. Yes, he can't score. Penn State fans going, we're gonna get those 2 yards. They scored 18 points in a 9 overtime game. There are high school teams that run a better. James Franklin has no clue.
I was watching it with a Penn State alum, and it was glorious.
Is he it is glorious. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just miserable.
We have
where are we gonna go?
Kevin in West Oak Lane.
Kevin, what's going on? Welcome into the Fanatic. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Hi, John. How you doing?
Good, man.
Long time listener, first time ever calling in and getting on it. That's awesome. I got a question for you, John. How come Jonathan Gannon was able to get back on the plane to come home to Philadelphia? Because when you allow a quarterback to have the second highest completion percentage in NFL history, I don't think you allow that same person to get back onto the flight to come back to Philadelphia.
Well, I think you assumed something, though, because I understand Vince from Philly Sports Trips last night was trying to find an extra seat on our charter today back to Philadelphia because Jonathan Gannon was out in front of Planet Hollywood with his bag and a laptop because this is atrocious. I don't blame you. I understand it is. And I'll tell you this. I tried to warn these guys on the show all summer long. I tried to warn you about Jonathan Gannon. You wouldn't listen to me.
Yeah,
it was my boyfriend. I gotta raise my hand in guilt. Terrible.
But it's 2000. I understand for starters, and I'm sorry, I'm 100% with you. Howard Roseman can't be on this team next year. He cannot lead this team. You allow Alex Singleton. To play 100% of your 100% of your snaps yesterday, special snaps. The middle of your field was wide open. Like I could, you could, anybody could walk through the middle of your field and catch a ball from Derek Carr and get at least 15, 16 yards every freaking play. I don't understand how it is that man still has a job this morning. How y'all allow that? The Fletcher Cox doesn't respect him.
Well, you're the man. We appreciate that. What I would ask is Fletcher Cox or any other veterans who can't respect the coaching staff or whatever.
Fletcher Cox.
That doesn't mean that you don't perform. You're a professional and you're getting paid tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I hated his answer. I get paid to sack the quarterback. No, Fletch, you get paid to be a defensive tackle.
Correct.
And that's to do whatever is required. So, no, you don't get paid to sack the quarterback. You get paid to be a football player.
Correct. Hey, 7 o'clock.
I hated that.
7 o'clock hour is brought to you by my sportsbook app of choice. It's our friends at the Parks Casino Sportsbook app. Download it at parkscasino.com/PA and use promo code Fanatic. Jamie has some of our juror audio that we'll share this morning.
It's the John Kincade Show's inaugural Birds Jury of 12. Now, let's head to the courtroom.
Yes, our first batch of 3 calls are from 3 of our staples so far. These jurors have not gone anywhere. Mike from Delran will lead us off.
This is juror number 3, Mike from Delran here. I kept holding out. I kept trying to push out the naysayers. You know, it's really a shame because I would take this guy's heart and put it in any other athlete in this league and be happy with him, but it's time to declare Jalen Hurts is not the guy. Go Birds.
Mike from Delran was missed on this trip, by the way.
Yeah, he was.
Because even some of the other listeners who were on the trip were wondering where Mike from Delran was. Show me who Mike from Delran is yesterday at the tailgate. And I said, Mike couldn't make it with us, but he was there in spirit.
Yeah, a famous situation happened, unfortunately.
We were all just as pissed off as Mike would have been in person.
Yeah, I needed Mike saying "Go Birds" because even a downtrodden "Go Birds" from Mike and Delran kind of boost my spirits.
What else we got, Jamie?
Number 2 juror today, not the second juror, but a second one we'll hear from, is Bob's girl, Alyssa.
Hey, y'all. Alyssa, juror number 2. It's Groundhog Day. Another game where the same issues with this team are so crystal clear. Yeah, 2021, the season of no expectations, but I'm still questioning where anyone expects them to win games at this point. I think the score of this one was misleading because without watching the game, you'd think that it was closer than it really was. I don't really know how many ways we can say that the Eagles stink. Maybe I'll leave my next message in Spanish or something.
Very creative, your girl Alyssa.
Yeah, she is great. She's just awesome. But she's right. You know, when we talked about expectations and that we had none. We had none as far as wins and losses or playoffs or whatever it may be. But I did expect improvement in the coaching staff, improvement in the young players, improvement in week to week as a football team as a whole. And we are not seeing that even a little bit. I'm finding it hard to decide where there is any improvement on this football team right now.
Jamie, where's the third juror that's going to chime in?
Our third juror is the guy that sacked Joe Flacco in high school. Josh from Autobahns checks in.
Josh from Autobahn, juror number 12, on the runway with no voice on the way home, red-eyed in Philly. Hurts and Sirianni are still clowns. However, Jonathan Gannon has a lot to blame for this one. With this soft coverage, not getting anything done, the Raiders ran 37 consecutive plays without facing a third down.
Oh my
Fletcher
gosh.
Cox is right. Where's the pressure? Where's the aggressiveness? We're just sitting back and let teams do whatever they want to us on offense.
37 plays without facing a third down.
Yeah, so the Raiders
That's
converted.
incomprehensible.
They converted 3 third downs on their opening possession and then didn't see another third down until their second possession of the third quarter.
Oh my, that's unbelievable.
That's unfathomable.
It really is.
I want to take little Pat Egan of the Raiders offense, Hunter Renfrow. Pat, you could have gotten wide open catches yesterday against this Eagles defense.
I mean, I have stone hands, but yeah, I would have been open. I would have absolutely been open.
You would have done Devontae Freeman in the first quarter?
Yeah, it was
right in his hands, not catching balls.
This team just sucks, and you're right, Bob. Like, yeah, okay, we say we had no expectations. I don't think anyone expected them to be this incompetent.
Nobody did.
7 weeks in.
Nobody
Like, that's
did.
what they are. They are incompetent, and that is troubling. That there hasn't really been any growth from anybody.
It was troubling is the fact that this coaching staff was supposed to be so much better than this. They were supposed to be the youthful enthusiasm and everything. And again, this is why I don't believe, if this continues to be this bad, I don't believe that Howie Roseman can survive it. I don't think he can. Because
I do. He survived last offseason.
How would they stand in front of the fans and say Nick Sirianni's getting another year?
How did they do it last year? That Howie Roseman was returning.
He's a cockroach.
This is a whole nother issue. This is a incompetent coaching staff. One of the worst we've ever seen. This is terrible. And they're getting embarrassed on a weekly basis. I don't know if the TAP team is coming through or what.
I don't know what that is. That might be
What is that,
the
Connor?
only way that Howie Roseman holds his job is that he fires Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, but then he gets to hire another coach? We cannot let
yeah.
him hire
Fifth
another
coach.
one. We
Yeah,
can't
that's-
let him hire another coach.
That's a good point.
Hey, if you have a high school senior, you need to visit collegeav.com. They are the emotional support system that's going to help guide you through the college journey from start to finish. They only do college loans. So check out our friends at College Ave Student Loans, and we appreciate them being a part of the John Kincade Show as we are here in Vegas. It was so much fun all weekend long. The party with Philly Sports Trips.
I got to tell you, Vince and his wife and the guys and Bob who organized this trip, it was just phenomenal. And yesterday, the tailgate party, it's not like a party you're thinking, drinking at 8 o'clock. It's not that. It was just so much fun to be around everybody. The John Dorenbos show on Saturday night was
fantastic.
Terrific. John's such a good guy. Like, it's what Eagles fan base is. And that's why I said earlier, I felt bad for this fan base yesterday to have to come out here and watch this.
I don't understand why the John Dorenbos is supposed to be a magician, and he couldn't make Connor's swim trunks disappear.
No, but
that was just
That was
unbelievable.
awful.
His best magic trick that he had, I don't even know if anyone realized it. he turned a Super Bowl team to this crap in 3 years.
Why would he do that to us?
Just boom. Because it's 1 minute it's there, the next minute that's magic.
It's so bad. It is such a bad
magic.
It is a bad situation.
In what world?
We're going to get to your calls.
In what world?
Get you lined up. We will get to your calls if you can just hold on to after the break. 610-632-0975. We'll let you have a chance to vent. It'll be a cathartic experience for all of us. We are live. It is 4:20 in the morning here in Vegas. And 4:20 in the morning is very appropriate because everywhere, I swear to you, everywhere you go, you are inundated with the smell of weed. Everywhere. You can't go anywhere in this town without it.
Now Jamie's really upset.
It's unbelievable. Jamie's really pissed
Sounds
that he's
awesome.
not here.
Wake and Bake in the morning will be broadcasting
great.
live next week.
It's great.
From here.
We will have a lot of fun with you today, though. Get you on the line, 610-632-0975. It's the John Kincade Show here on the Fanatic live from Vegas. And, in the past year, my life took a lot of twists and turns. The year ahead, though, is going to be incredible with Olivia graduating high school and getting ready to make her college choice. We got a lot of things to consider, and she's going to have a stake in the game, some sort of financial ramification on the table to make sure she's doing what she's got to do. So we sat down at collegeav.com. Collegeav.com is our friends at College Ave Student Loans. Their website was simple and easy to use. You sit with your high school senior and you look at this. Their student loan calculator will estimate what her monthly payment is going to look like when she graduates. So it comes into play. How much is that college offering you to come? How much are they willing to pay for? How much is going to fall on you? College Ave will then give you what you'll have an idea within 3 minutes of what college choice would be best for you due to the financial situation that you're in. Many of you are walking the same path that we are right now. Sit down with your college-bound senior this week and just do it. Spend 3 minutes. You're going to see it at collegeav.com. I promise you, going through this process, not only for your child, but for you, it's going to help you breathe a lot easier.
This is the John Kincade Show. Now, back to the John Kincade Show.
Live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Brought to you by PhillySportsTrips.com.
On 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Clearly, I'll be dialed into
Pat
Monday Night Football.
Pat is really dialed into this game. You're going to be so tired by the time we get home.
I'll be locked into Monday
We're
Night
having
Football
a great
tonight.
time. Well, it didn't matter. You said it didn't matter.
It doesn't. The offer, the two teams don't
Didn't matter.
Yeah, I would skip over this part of
Hey,
the show.
remember the Football Monday on the Fanatic. We're not skipping over this, though. Football Monday on the Fanatic's brought to you by Pierce Phelps Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors. You can visit nopaybryant.com to get flexible spending options on a new heating and cooling system. Pat, what you were trying to say when you've done those 2 live reads this morning is we all have our Pennsylvania sports app of choice.
Yes.
For you, that is?
Mine's BetMGM.
For Bob, yours is?
That'd be FanDuel Sportsbook.
Mine's the Parks Casino Sportsbook app. Jamie, yours is?
And hot damn, do I love DraftKings Sportsbook.
Well, I was really a little over the top, but we appreciate it.
Aggressive.
Very
They
aggressive.
took some money from me yesterday, but that's okay.
Okay, well, here's what I got to tell you, and anybody knows it. Pat has learned it painfully. There are beautiful casinos here, like the beautiful Mandalay Bay where we're at. There are great restaurants, great entertainment. It's fun. This is a great party town. We are better off using our gambling apps in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You have hundreds of more options at your fingertips than you have in a sports book here in Vegas.
Vegas has been amazing, but I'm texting buddies back home to place bets for me. Because
Who
there's
did you trust with that,
there's
by the
more
way?
options. Whoever had an app.
Oh, so whoever had an app.
It wasn't like I was hitting up my entire contact list.
That is very good.
Who's got an app and who's willing to make the bets? But yeah, it was. Truthfully, it's like you show up in Vegas, you're thinking, all right, they're going to have all the options we have.
Nope.
They're going to have, anytime touchdowns and alternative lines, and it's like the Stone Age here.
Were you finding the same game parlays?
No.
No. You weren't finding
Couldn't
those?
build one.
No, it's tough. It is. Pat was wandering like a squirrel all over the place yesterday trying to find a decent bet.
Squirrel's a good way to put it.
You are squirrely.
Yeah.
That is squirrely.
Yeah.
Grossman's going to go close the
I
door.
I love you to death, but you're squirrely.
We appreciate that. That's
It's
Grossman.
probably my fault.
He's very happy to be with us today.
Say, Gruss.
He's very happy to be with us today. Grossman's been a nice addition to the trip. He's
nice addition.
I
We
could
saw
make
him.
that.
We saw him Friday. We didn't see him again until today.
I'll tell you this.
That's why he's been a good addition.
That's been a really good addition as he's chatting. Let's see who's on the hot seat.
Yesterday's game has everyone talking, but one person is on the hot seat. Let's find out who.
I'd say now the person on the hot seat right now for this Eagles mess is Jeffrey Lurie and his decision-making process. His decision-making to allow Howie Roseman to stick around. His decision to sign off on Nick Sirianni, and supposedly, from all the media coverage of it, he was a big believer in Nick Sirianni, and Nick Sirianni won him over. Right now, allowing Jeff Lurie going into the season saying, you know what, I've been an NFL owner for a generation, and I'm going to be dumb enough to turn my franchise over to the youngest, most inexperienced staff that the NFL has ever seen. I got to question Jeffrey Lurie and his decision-making process. I have to question if the right people are in his ear. I have to question whether his judgment is sound on somebody in a job interview to be able to say, I'm ready for this job. I'm ready for this position. Because there was nothing on Nick Sirianni's resume. There's a reason why no other team was knocking on his door, and we're seeing it now. That's the reason. He's not ready for this job. Jeffrey Lurie, to me, it's hard to think of an owner being on the hot seat, but today that's really where my mind's going. Because as I hear Jamie has said many times, well, why would we think that Jeff's finally going to hold Howie responsible? Jamie's exactly right. There is zero reason for me to believe that Jeffrey Lurie is going to hold him responsible because nothing he's done has shown me that. And what that tells me is he deserves to be on the hot seat as an owner. And thanks to H&H Heating and Air Conditioning, these guys are the best. DelcoHVAC.com. Don't let Delco HVAC, though, the website, fool you, because they will come to South Jersey. They'll come to Delaware. They'll come all over the counties in Philadelphia. The Hoke brothers do you right. They take great care of you, and we love our friends at H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. Jamie, you're right. I mean, there's no reason for me to believe that Jeff Lurie is finally going to hold Howie responsible because all the empirical data is on your side. I'm just thinking, if things get bad enough, if the apathy gets bad enough, we're going to be able to get to it. We're going to be able to see it.
I just don't think they would do anything bold like move on from Sirianni after a year, even if this somehow got worse. I still don't think they're doing it. The same reason with Howie is once he survived last offseason, the goal was then to rebuild through the draft. Right. And he's done a very good job so far of getting those draft picks in order. So once he was able to make those trades, I'd be shocked if he wasn't able to see those draft picks out.
If the people are watching on YouTube, and this is really good for radio too, I'm shaking right now the white towel. Someone is going to wave the white towel at 8 o'clock. One member of the crew is waving the white towel on Jalen Hurts. We said we would wait. We said we would get enough data. Somebody finally pulled the trigger and is going to wave the white flag at 8 o'clock today. Which one of us is it going to be? You got to stick around to find out. Pat, let's get to the phones.
Let's go to Tommy in Tampa.
Tommy, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the Fanatic. Good morning.
Good morning, fellas. Good morning. Not a fan of Sirianni at all. From what I've seen, he's just not getting the job done. I think it's time to kind of keep a close eye on Eric Bieniemy situation, and I would be a big fan of bringing him in. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Oh, a guy like Eric Bieniemy, you mean who has studied under some really, really good coaches, and a guy who really has been able to call plays, and a guy who's been able to design offenses, and more importantly, get Tom Brady's utmost respect? No. Yeah, why would we want him?
No.
Why would you want a guy like Eric Bieniemy? I mean, seriously, it's ridiculous how – and Eric Bieniemy, by the way, was out there last year. He was out there.
What?
Yeah, he was out there.
He was available?
He was available. Yep. He was available. Tommy in Tampa is a smart guy.
No, my neighbor used to coach high school football. I think he'd be a good hire.
You think he would?
Yeah, he coached 3 years of JV.
So no, wait a minute. He never got the varsity job? Well, much like Nick Sirianni, he never got the varsity job.
You know, I mean, he can pander with the best of them. So, no, you don't want to hire someone who's competent.
You're going to have to make a decision when this season's over, and it's become blatantly clear to me. You can't have both Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts back next year. So who do you choose?
No,
I mean, they don't work well together. They're not good together. Sirianni doesn't make him look good. Hurts doesn't look good under Sirianni. Maybe Hurts just isn't good, as Jamie has kind of been leaning towards the last few weeks. Something's got to give. It's not going to be – you can't redo this next year. So which one is it? That's what it's come down to in my book.
Jamie, you say it's an easy decision.
I think so for the organization, yeah. I think they, the reports you heard before the season that they had concerns inside about Hurts being the guy, the foundation was laid. I think it would take, even at a 2-14 season, I think it would take a lot for Nick Sirianni to
So they're
not
going to
return.
play the 17th game?
Oh, yeah, God. I hate
great?
that now, yeah.
We get 17 weeks of this. Oh, my gosh.
It would take a lot for him not to come back year two. I didn't think it was going to take that much for Jalen Hurts not to come back as the starter next year.
Where are you going, Pat?
What's scary to me before we get back to the phones is the fact that Nick Sirianni does not look like he's the guy.
No, he doesn't.
I think that so much of the fan base jumped into the fact that he kind of sounded horrible his first press conference. The fan base reacted like meatheads. So we took a step back because we don't want to be the typical Philly fan. And now we're hesitant to say he might not be the guy, but he doesn't look like the guy. So why would you let him pick the next quarterback? Because if he's brought back, he's going to get his chance to pick his hand-picked quarterback, and there's nothing that shows me that he can succeed with anybody.
Well, I can't get over the fact that people are going to try to tell me, too, that the people who told me the first press conference didn't matter and said it doesn't matter, it matters. Now you're saying it did matter because he was not prepared for the stage.
Yeah, he looked nervous.
It's terrible.
Let's get to Tony Taxi.
Tony Taxi? Yeah. Tony, welcome in to the Fanatic. How are you, brother?
Good morning, fellas. How are you?
Could have used them this morning.
Good job. We needed you this morning here in Vegas. Not a lot of taxis.
Well, don't you get tempted to bring no weed back to Philadelphia when you come back.
I think we're gonna. It's gonna be a long challenge. Believe me, there's gonna be drug sniffing dogs.
That's why we brought Connor.
There we go.
Connor, bend over.
Listen, man. It's only a 2-year fix to this Eagle problem. All right. The first thing they need to do is bring in an experienced defensive coordinator. Have never seen them with this many draft picks so early in the draft. My Dolphins are bums. They get our pick, which will probably be the second pick. I do. My philosophy for drafting is the same as Jerry Jones was last year. The Philadelphia has always been known for their defense. Never have I seen teams methodically move the ball up and down on the Philadelphia Eagle defense like they have this year. I'm getting the whole draft. I'm re-ramping the entire defense. They got a chance to get the two best DNs in the draft, the two best linebackers, and then get backup depth. To rebuild the defense next, and at the end of that, bring in undrafted free agents for the offensive line, and then next year address the offense.
I like it.
And
I like your thought.
years.
I like your thought.
And then 3 years, they're back.
As long as it's different people that are making. Thank you for your call, Tom.
Thibodeau, the DN out on Oregon. Woo! And they need a real deal proven edge rusher. Like I need hair.
I think you're right. He's in the Pac. You remember he's in the Pac-12.
I don't care.
You don't?
Not with him.
He's not playing against the best competition. How do you
know.
scale it?
He's
playing against
explodes off of a defensive line
because of the fact that he's playing in the Pac-12.
Perhaps I'd be willing to gamble on him.
How would he be playing going up against Alabama's offensive line?
I think he'd be fine.
Going up against Georgia's offensive line?
I think he'd be fine.
Really? How can you tell that?
How can you
I mean, nobody
it's man
knows.
versus boys.
Look, NFL GMs fail at making these picks all the time. So how the hell am I supposed to know?
You're the guy who always says, why aren't you shopping where the best
I
players
know,
are?
But this guy, I think he transcends Pac-12 talent.
Oh, my gosh. You're going against your own advice.
They need a D-end real bad that can get to the quarterback on a consistent basis. They need that. That is a big need.
That's what was amazing to me yesterday. So the Raiders get the ball, their first possession, go right down the field, throw an interception. But they went right down the field. And then you're watching that Eagles defense throughout the day. Did you guys see anything that changed? Did you see any blitzes? Did you see any different pass rushes?
No, it's the most boring, plain defense I've ever seen in my life.
blitz.
They don't even move.
Their
linebackers are stationary.
Jamie, I couldn't believe it yesterday. Where we were sitting, we were, pretty high up or whatever. I could see, I swear to God, there was more than 5 times that I watched a receiver wide open, and I thought he was going to be the guy catching the ball, when in fact they threw to another wide open receiver. The Eagles defense was porous. It was horrible yesterday.
You guys weren't able to watch the post-game show, but Seth Joyner was kind of on fire yesterday. He said when you have a veteran of the caliber of Derek Carr and you're giving them single high safety zone coverage,
right?
He said they did nothing to disguise, change up what they were doing, and once Carr realized it, all he would do was look off the safety, and then he would have 2 other choices that were wide open pretty much all game.
It's unbelievable.
And Gannon's not, or Sirianni won't fire Gannon.
He will if they say to him, "You're fired."
I don't know, because you remember when he got hired, it was, "Hey, I'm bringing in these 2 guys. I'm bringing Steichen and Gannon in because when we were slumming it, living in an apartment together as assistants." We all agreed that if one of us got a head coaching job or bringing each other, they're very loyal to each other.
You're going to take. Do you think Nick Sirianni honestly would say, "I'll lose my job over getting rid of"?
It wouldn't be the
Jonathan
first time.
Gannon?
I mean, I watched Ron Hextall lose his job over Dave Haxtell. So,
how many years was that though?
Too many. It was
he had
like
already
5
cashed,
or 6.
and he'd already cashed in.
Way too many.
This is a whole different pay grade for Nick Sirianni.
It is
game changing money for.
But
his
I'm saying,
family.
I don't know how much Sirianni's going in and telling Gannon, you've got to clean this up because they're friends.
I heard he yelled at him. Remember, you heard that fire? He yelled at him.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't get it. Things aren't working for you, and you're not changing. You're not trying something different. You keep saying that these guys are playing well, and they're letting other guys get to where they belong because they're taking on blocks or whatever. Okay, sorry. Fletcher Cox is supposed to be one of my best defensive players. If I'm not putting him in a position to make tackles or get to the quarterback, then what the hell am I doing?
I have a feeling by noon today, Tobias Harris will be telling us all that we need to be supporting Nick Sirianni, and that we need to just put everything aside. We need to focus on supporting.
I don't think so, because Nick Sirianni hasn't admitted he has a problem.
Either is Ben Simmons.
Well, he might have to his team.
We got to hear it from the fans who he wronged. We have to hear about it. The organization he's wronged. You got to hear about it. Just put out a statement. You love social media.
I just love how a week ago where me and you both agreed. We were simpatico. We're like, hey, don't boo Ben Simmons. It's not going to do any well. And now you're mad that the players said, don't boo Ben Simmons.
No, because
what
it
do you
changed.
want?
It changed in 24 hours.
Yes, because they met with him.
And then a statement from Ben Simmons would be nice.
I don't need a statement from Ben Simmons. He doesn't owe me anything.
So you just blindly support guys. That was all about. There's a problem. What are you doing?
I I trust whatever he told his teammates. That's all I care
He
about.
must have said something pretty heartfelt that they came out and said what they said.
Joel
For
Embiid
Joel
coming out,
Embiid,
because Joel Embiid said he was done with them and that he was a baby the day before.
yeah. So whatever was said, it opened the eyes of the players or whatever. I'm not saying that the players have never been wrong. The organization have not been wrong as far as this Ben Simmons things go. Joel Embiid calling him a baby at the time, I was all on board. Whatever Ben Simmons said to his team when he met with them, it made them realize that something's going
Was
on.
Clutch Sports and their entire off-season program, did that have anything to do with Ben Simmons?
Oh, I think it was a lot to do with it.
No, but about Ben Simmons having an issue, or was it about a power play move to get Ben Simmons out of Philadelphia?
Both, I think.
I mean,
I think he had an issue, and I think he wanted out, and I think they thought by doing this that it would facilitate a trade. This whole situation was handled incredibly poorly.
Terribly.
But I look at it like when a guy admits he has a problem and needs to go to a recovery center. I mean, it's not to that extent, obviously.
Well, no, I would think if that was the case, I would feel differently.
For finally admitting that he had a problem. Like, you can see his Instagram. He's the guy who's hiding behind a mask of smiling, but really he's crying. He's definitely, something's up with him.
More expensive gas and groceries. Our friends at Business Roundtable know you've noticed it, and they say Congress stop pushing the tax hikes on business with government spending that'll make inflation worse. They want you to protect hardworking Americans, Congress. That's what Business Roundtable is telling us. Where are we going, Pat?
Let's go to Dante in Upper Darby.
Dante,
What's
welcome
up,
to the
boys?
Fanatic. How are you, brother?
All right, Pat. How you doing?
Good, buddy.
What's going on? Am I on the air?
Yeah, you're on the air, buddy.
Oh, okay. Hey, John. How you doing?
Good, man.
What's going on? You guys sound a little
You
complacent.
sound like you didn't even know we're on the air. Come on, what do you got? Bring me some fire. Bring me some
I
fire.
don't
What do
know.
you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about Vegas. I want to talk about Sixers, but
okay, you're wandering.
You
Dante,
guys,
come on.
you guys sound.
You're wandering.
Yeah, we
Jeez.
just.
What the blank was that, Jamie?
Come on, Jamie. What are you doing back there?
Jamie, what was that?
What's wrong with you,
Why
Jamie?
did you have him call?
Am I on the air?
That's my man Dante.
What's going on?
What the hell was that?
He just wanted to know what was going on.
What?
He's getting his sea legs under him.
Jamie, we're Dante. We love you, but please, we got to get somebody's got to be firing over there, Pat.
Our perfect show just
Pat,
ended.
somebody's got to be. No, you're 6:30 read. Took that out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's. I know this guy's good. I know this
You
guy's
know
good.
he's good. You know he's ready to go.
I know he'll bring the alacrity.
He's listening to the show right now.
Yeah, Graph and Media.
Oh, we know that. Graph, welcome to the show. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
We sure I'm on the air, John?
Yes, you're on the air, Graph. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, yo. I'm doing. Yo, my wife summed it up pretty good last night. So she comes downstairs after doing her thing upstairs, getting herself situated. She comes downstairs. I'm watching the game. The Eagles have the ball, and on the screen, when the team who is possessing the football has the football, there's a little football in front of the number. So she comes down and she's like, "Dang, babe, they're really that bad?" I said, "What do you mean? Yeah, they're pretty bad." But she looked at me, she's like, "They got negative points?" And I just started laughing, and I was like,
"Oh my
it
gosh!"
It looked like if they had negative 7 points, and I said to her, I was like, "You know what? I was like, it might as well just be the case because they're this bad, man. They're terrible." And I don't understand how a team.
Graph, how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, how many seasons have you ever felt this way halfway through a season about watching the Eagles? Your desire to watch them?
Never in my life, man.
It's incredible.
Never in my life. This is the worst football team I've ever seen in the city of Philadelphia in my 31 years of life.
That's incredible. Thank you, buddy.
I don't understand how I can have zero expectations and yet somehow they can make them work.
So true.
Graph, we love you, man. Thank you, buddy.
So true.
It is in a season of no expectations, right, Jamie? In a season of no expectations,
This was the first week that kind of made me feel that way.
This is the first
worse
week?
than I thought. Yeah, I thought it was extremely predictable up
They've been
until
down
this
by
weekend.
3 scores over and over again.
Yeah, to
week
Tom
after
Brady
week after week
and
after
Patrick
week.
Mahomes. I mean,
gosh.
I didn't expect them to really win those games. I expected them to have fight in a game like a Raiders, and they didn't have any fight. I mean, nothing went well at all.
We picked up a game on you this weekend, Mr. Smarty Pants, by the way. Jamie goes to his first loss. Pat and I went far onto the they're going to get dominated. They're going to get blown out.
Yeah, that first drive and that first pick by Maddox, I was going,
There
all
it is.
right, here we go. We're going to run the ball. Sirianni's going to prove me right.
Jamie tried to cash out. He
I mean,
texted me
I
to
tried to
cash out.
yeah.
It's like the most simplistic thing in sports is, wow, look at that. That's going well. Jalen Hurts going under center worked yesterday. Six times of the first 8 plays that they ran, he went under center yesterday. And then they get the ball, and they scored a touchdown. And then they get the ball again, and 8 out of 9 times they go shotgun.
It's unbelievable.
I just like what he's got to explain. What the hell is he thinking?
No, there'll be more word salad from Sirianni. We'll get to hear some of it because it's just he'll come out with some gobbledygook and he'll talk to us about, again, if he says self-scouting today, if he ever comes out with a self-scouting today, it is going to be the most aggravating thing. There's obvious. They do not know how to self-scout. They don't know how to. They don't have a competent person in there to critique their own work. Hey, protect your home with DryTech waterproofing solutions. Fanatic listeners, you're going to get 15% off when you mention Mike Missinelli. For water in your basement, cracks in your foundation, or mold remediation, you can trust the experts at DryTech. That's drytechcorp.com. One of us is going to wave the white flag on Jalen Hurts. It took 7 weeks. We put the challenge out before the year. There would be a white flag. We brought it to Vegas. Is it one of us, or is it someone back in the studio? And Jamie, Coach, did the YouTube audience cast a vote?
Going to be doing that right at 8 o'clock.
Okay, right at 8 o'clock, they're going to cast the vote, and we'll see. Who do they believe is going to wave the white flag? We've got it here, and Jamie has something to wave back home. Which one of us gives up first? You'll find out next. Stick around with us. We are live at the beautiful Mandalay Bay Resort here in Las Vegas with Philly Sports Trips, where we've been this weekend. It's been a great, great time. It's the John Kincade Show, 8 o'clock hour coming your way next on The Fanatic. How long have you lived in your house? Has it been 10 years or 15 years? Have you ever replaced your water heater? Well, if you haven't, you're about to find out because you need a new water heater, and Bradford White water heaters are here for the pro. They are built to be the best. You've heard Ron Jaworski talk about them for years. You don't find Bradford White water heaters, though, at the big box retail stores, and there's a reason for that, because Bradford White teams up with plumbing and heating professionals, so they guarantee you are getting the best professional installation of the product that's going to ensure top performance and reliability. If your water heater has been in your house longer than you have, you are about to get acquainted at some point when that water heater busts, and you don't want to do it during the winter months when you're going to be looking for that hot water. Visit BradfordWhite.com today. That's BradfordWhite.com today. Remember, choose what we do. Bradford White. Learn more and find a local pro at BradfordWhite.com.
Burlington.
And casino in Las Vegas. Brought to you by Philly Sports Trips.
Hour of the John Kincade Show is brought to you by Martin Law, the law firm for injured workers. Visit paworkinjury.com. Bob, a little choked up there. I can understand.
I'm excited for this New Orleans-Seattle game tonight.
Man, the four of you guys sound like you've been in Vegas for 4 days.
Yeah, the only problem is
the three of you, I
The only
guess.
problem is, Jamie, is that there's been no yelling going on.
No, I don't know.
Fooled me
No.
from your voices.
Like
I
no
think it's
yelling
just talking
going
to
on
a lot
at
of people during the weekend, yeah.
There was a lot of that going on and everything.
I think Bob was booing his ass off yesterday.
No, boozing his
No.
ass off, maybe, but not booing. There wasn't any of that going on.
Bob was desperately trying to get an Egan chant started at the game, so he would go E, G, and
Nobody was having it.
Nobody was
followed
going in on
suit,
it.
But
No.
I think there's still time, Bobby.
We'll try in the airport today, Pat.
I'm sure.
We'll get you one.
Our friends from our YouTube crew is going to get to cast a vote. Have they put up the poll yet?
It is
there?
up.
I feel like I'm part of them now. This is my first time in there interacting with everybody.
Oh, Jamie's already gotten his first YouTube fight.
Who'd you get in a
Oh,
YouTube
really?
fight with,
Calling
Jamie?
a guy coward.
No,
Why'd
I
you
didn't
call-
call anybody a coward. Somebody called me delusional. I said, please explain.
Okay.
And he said,
Is that John,
every
or-
week you say they're going to get it right. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? I was 6-0 up until yesterday.
Yeah, but you have been telling us every week you thought that they were optimistic they were going to get things right.
Well,
You've been telling
I
us
thought
that.
I did think that they were going to return to the running game yesterday after watching the league
Why
for the
though?
weekend.
Again, it's like you know what's
Because the
funny is-
Raiders suck at it, and I know the Chiefs sucked at it, but like insanity can't keep repeating
does,
itself,
but
or
that
you
is
get an
insanity.
insane person.
That is
and
insanity.
we might have an insane person. We'll find out.
You told us, though, Jamie, what one of the things was, though, you spoke common sense to me as to why do you believe, after all the empirical evidence, why would I believe that Jeffrey Lurie's going to cut ties with Howie Roseman? That's why I say after everything you see with Nick Sirianni, you can't be suckered in by this guy.
I'm not suckered in.
Like as far as that it was going to get better.
I don't think running the ball is asking a lot or like some epiphany that he had out in the desert. It's like basic freaking common sense.
We've been saying that for 4 weeks, though.
Well,
that they've
okay,
been
I
going
didn't
up
think he
against
was
teams.
insane to do it for 17 weeks.
Pat, I think
I thought
he's
there was going to
insane.
be a breaking point.
We thought it was a breaking point, but Pat, you and I both did think this game would not be close.
Yeah.
This is ugly. I thought it would be a closer game at half than it was, though.
There's nothing other than their fourth quarter scores to tell me that this team is adjusted to anything. It's the same vanilla offense and the same vanilla defense that we've gotten for 7 weeks now.
It should have been closer. Look, if you would have just looked at your first drive and said, okay, looks like we can do something here. We can get under center. And, yeah, I know Miles Sanders got hurt, but you still have Kenneth Gainwell, who I think is a capable runner in this league. You got under center. You handed the ball off. You mixed your plays up, and you went 67 yards and got a touchdown in your first series. Then you looked nothing like that afterwards. And not because of the Raiders doing, because you didn't show any of that at all for the rest of the day. I don't understand it.
Zach Berman will be coming up in around 6 minutes on the Comcast Business Hotline. We'll have a chance to talk to Zach Berman and get a little, I guess it's like a detox from, and I'm hoping that Zach can maybe interpret the core competency of this coaching staff. Because it's one of us is going to wave the white flag on Jalen Hurts coming up. Now, you don't know which one it is yet. Where is the YouTube poll leaning, Jamie? Where are people leaning on who will be the one to wave the flag?
You.
That I'm leading, that I'm the one who's going to wave it first?
Yeah, I am in second. Bob is in third, and then Pat is in fourth somehow.
That's crazy because the guy who's leading the poll is the guy who literally brought a white flag.
I've got it.
I would have never thought that.
I've got it.
Our YouTube community is smart.
Too
Are
smart
they?
Sometimes.
They see a guy bring a white flag and they say, we think it's him.
We think it's him, but we'll see who waves the white flag here on Jalen Hurts already coming up, though. Do we have anybody we want to get to there, Pat, before we go to that? Is that not? We can roll right along. The Jonathan Gannon defense. And yes, I was completely fooled by Jonathan Gannon. I was completely fooled by the fact that Jonathan Gannon was a disciple of some really, really good coaches. I realize he does have a far less talented side of the ball to work with. But Jonathan Gannon's defense is just failure to adjust. It's failure to manipulate your situation. It's failure to ever learn from the previous week's mistakes. This Eagles defense is so abysmal, and mainly because of the fact that they are not impactful. They don't make any impactful plays. They don't know how to affect the opposing quarterback. And Derek Carr looked like a world beater yesterday. He had the best game of his career. Why? Because the Eagles defense allowed that to happen. And I put that at the door of Jonathan Gannon, Bob. It's at his door. And yes, I was someone who's extremely high on Gannon. I couldn't have been more wrong. And I don't believe that I'm going to be proven right in the long term.
Yeah, as damning as it is to watch what defenses can do to this offense, or what the coaches, the Philadelphia Eagles coaches, do to their offense and to their defense, it's damning. You're not showing where your weapons are. You're not exploiting any weaknesses on the other team. You're doing nothing well right now. And you know what really, really sticks to you? You watch Zach Ertz leave here and talk about a team that he's on, and he emphasizes team, and he gets a ball thrown to him for a long touchdown yesterday. And you look at Carson Wentz last night in a rainy game, playing well. I'm sorry, when someone leaves your environment and goes somewhere else and starts to prosper, that's more damning than your team not doing well in my book.
Yeah, that was the Zach Ertz stuff was kind of eye-opening. All of a sudden, this guy went from looking like he was kind of cooked. And look, it's one game.
It's one game.
He jumps into that Arizona offense and right away makes an impact.
Right.
An impact that we haven't seen from him or Dallas Goedert really combined this season. I mean, we've been waiting for Dallas Goedert to have a game that Zach Ertz had last night. And you're right, Bob. I mean, when you look at guys that go out of here, and you're looking at in a Carson Wentz situation that he's the problem, and he the last 4 weeks has played really well. You go, all right, well, maybe it's time to look inward. Maybe it's something that we're doing in here.
Jamie, where do you is there a pecking order of blame for you? As far as who's the worst? Is Jonathan Gannon more to blame than the head coach? Is the head coach more to blame than Jonathan Gannon? I mean, do you have some sort of a pecking order in your mind already?
When it's a total failure, it's kind of hard to break up percentages. I think the defense is highly concerning right now. You're stressing a defense that relies on good linebacking play with no linebackers. That just makes no sense to me. So fundamentally, I just don't get where he's coming from. Sirianni looks like he's on the verge of possibly losing the veterans in his locker room. I mean, I'm not trying to overstate that, but when you have Dallas Goedert, Rodney McLeod, and Fletcher Cox all making comments about the coaches in Week 7, that's a pretty bad sign. So I just think it's a total failure from Howie to the coaching staff to all of it. I mean, I don't know where to put it exactly, but it's just kind of everyone.
It's an ugly, ugly situation.
Yeah, but at the same time, I go, lose the locker room. What does it matter? Jason Kelce has 1 foot out the door. We were all talking about it last night. He looked like a guy that was frustrated because he said, I came back for this.
I totally agree.
Fletcher Cox looks completely disinterested this entire season. So he might have already been lost.
I'm frustrated by highly paid veterans who get so frustrated that they don't do their basic duties of their job. That's what I find frustrating.
Well, I think they're putting it on scheme.
But that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I mean, you got to put it on more than that. You got to be professional when you're making money like that. You do. I mean, that's why they count on these veterans like that.
Professional like Zach Berman.
Let's go to the Comcast Business Hotline, where every day in business is a huge, huge day. It's really, really important, and that's why we bring Zach Berman on every week. He brings you the inside, the Comcast Business Hotline. Zach, we're trying to figure out the core competency of this coaching staff through 7 games. I did not think we would be having this discussion, but it seems like every single week there are no adjustments, and they tell us all week to prepare to see adjustments. What are you seeing with your eyes?
Well, yesterday was particularly concerning because they had the extra time to prepare, because they thought that they could spend those few days assessing their personnel, having a better sense of how to use it. And yeah, they were inconsistent on offense still. They were toothless on defense still. They are not getting better, and I do think that's a reflection of the coaching staff, right? I don't think they go into any of these games with a decided personnel advantage or a decided scheme advantage. And when that's the case, you're going to have a 2-5 record.
Zach, we've been blessed with good marriages here when it comes to coach and quarterback. Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb. You can go to Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz and all of that. That was good for a while. Is this marriage of Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni just one that may not work out in your eyes?
Well, the important distinction there is those marriages that you mentioned. They pick their spouse, if you will, right? This was an arranged one. And, yeah, I don't think that Nick Sirianni's offense is the best offense for Jalen Hurts. Now, that said, I don't think you should hire a coach for Jalen Hurts, per se. Like, Jalen Hurts hadn't established himself as the guy in Philadelphia. That said, this is the quarterback who Nick Sirianni had, and he needs to make it work with him. And I think the biggest disconnect, if you will, is that I really think Sirianni values accuracy, and the way his passing patterns are, the way he calls games, it relies on the timing of the quarterback, accurate throws. There was one quarterback yesterday who had a 91% completion percentage. Obviously, the Eagles' defense had quite a bit to do with it. And then Jalen Hurts had his third consecutive game under 60%. Right? That's not good enough, and it's especially not good enough in this offense given the way they want to play. So, yeah, I think that when you look at the quarterback-coach marriage, it's just it hasn't been a good fit yet because I'm not sure that the offense is tailored to Hurts. I'm not sure Hurts does enough well for this offense.
Zach, you just brought it up, Derek Carr's magnificent day in terms of completion percentage. I thought a lot of that credit went to the Eagles. Do you understand why Jonathan Gannon runs a defense that relies on good linebacking play with inept linebackers?
Yeah, so that's a good point there. They don't seem to have the personnel to run this defense effectively. Like, philosophically, I understand what Gannon's trying to achieve is that he thinks if you have to go 10, 12, 14 plays downfield, at some point there, the offense is going to make a mistake. They're not going to convert a third down. Well, on that 94, 95-yard drive they had, they did not even get the third down. And basically, the Eagles' defense make it such that it's like a 7-on-7 drill. If the quarterback is patient enough to take kind of short and intermediate passes, then he's going to have those all day against the Eagles for the reason you mentioned. They're deficient in the middle of the field. The linebackers and the safeties are not playing good enough for the way they want to play. I asked Gannon on what was it, Tuesday last week, if he wants to have two linebackers that he can kind of hang his hat on as opposed to this linebacker rotation. And he says if he had two guys you don't want to take off the field, then yeah, ideally that's the case. But right now they're in that mixing and matching. It seems like every week they have a different pair there, and a lot of that has to do with the personnel. That doesn't excuse the scheme. That doesn't excuse the way they played. But this is another example where it's like the personnel doesn't match the way they're playing.
Zach, I think you need to bring a open bottle of liquor today and set up shots in front of everybody and have a drinking game of how many times this coaching staff will tell you that they self-scout themselves. By the way, I'm a dork, and I've counted. They've said it over 37 times this season. Well, we self-scout. I don't believe there's a qualified person in the room to critique themselves. I don't think anybody looks at it and goes, yeah, we're doing things wrong, because they keep doing the same crap over and over again. So I don't understand it. If self-scouting doesn't matter if you don't have good eyes doing the self-scouting.
Look, with the way they're playing, that's a fair criticism. I think there are certain kind of tenets that they have that they want to hold true to, and they think that, you know, if they can just do it better, it's going to work. With this week in particular, I do think they wanted to run the ball more. I mean, you saw that early on. You saw that on the first drive. Now, then Miles Sanders goes down. Gainwell has that fumble. Nonetheless, you don't want to abandon the run. But no, I agree with you in the sense that you're 7 games into the season. The excuse of a new staff, that doesn't fly 7 games into the season. You've had time now to see your guys, to see what they do well, to see what they don't. And look, I don't want to put this all on the coaching staff, because I do think there are personnel problems here. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way these players are playing. But I don't think the coaches are doing enough to A, make them better, and B, give the Eagles a schematic advantage. And that's a major concern.
Zach, are you feeling any frustration level coming from the players towards the coaching staff at all?
Well, you saw Fletcher Cox's press conference yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And I've covered Fletcher for 10 years. That was as pointed as I've heard him regarding the coaching staff. He wants to be aggressive, he said. And when you hear not just Fletcher, but multiple players play, I'll say that they just need to play within the scheme. They need to do what the scheme allows them to do. I think that can qualify as almost coded language for frustration. I don't think it's like revolt or anything of that nature, but I mean, clearly this is it's not the type of thing. Let's look at the defense, for instance. It's not the type of thing where they brought in a bunch of players for these schemes. These are mostly veteran players. Before yesterday, when Davion Taylor joined the lineup, they did not have a first or second year player in the starting lineup. These are mostly players who were brought in to play Jim Schwartz's aggressive defense, and it's kind of counterintuitive for them to be playing the way they're playing. So, yeah, I do think there's frustration, and that's understandable when you're 2-5. But I'm curious to see is how does that manifest, and how does that, what happens with that going forward here.
Yeah, Zach, in your best estimation there yesterday, what the hell happened with the tackles? Is that just Jordan Mailata getting switched around too much? Is it Andre Dillard, when he came in after Lane went out? Is that him just, boat rising to its water? Can you explain what happened with the offensive line yesterday?
I mean, they got beat, right?
That's hard-hitting analysis. I like that.
I wish I had more insight there. Yeah, maybe it is Jordan Mailata going back and forth. I didn't get to talk to Jordan after the game, so I can't tell you that specifically. But no, look, I'll say this: the strength of the Eagles this year. If you had reasons for optimism about this team entering the season, it was how they are along the lines of scrimmage on both sides. Now, injuries have affected both sides, but neither side is playing well enough right now. They're not good enough elsewhere to not be outstanding on the lines of scrimmage. That's where their money is invested. That's where their best players are supposed to be. So when they look like that on both sides of the ball yesterday, that's a major concern.
I was trying to study last night for something we're going to do on the show tomorrow, Zach, but I'd love your input. I was starting to look at all the coaches who lost their jobs after 1 year, and I see a lot of commonality from San Francisco and Arizona, and twice in San Francisco, to what we're seeing with Nick Sirianni and his staff. Do you think Jeff Lurie would ever have that kind of level of impatience and outrage in him?
Well, it's a legitimate question in that they're not playing well and they're not improving. I don't necessarily want to put Sirianni on the hot seat after 7 games, but I mean, to answer your question, I do think at the end of the year they need to say, A, are we getting better? B, do we have the right people in charge? Whether it's the staff itself, whether it's the head coach, there is a lot of time here, and there is a lot of games against bad opponents, frankly. But I'll be honest with you, the Jets and the Giants and Washington and the Lions, they're probably looking at their schedule, and they're thankful that they have the Eagles. So that's a roundabout way of saying that, I would never say never with that, but I'm not ready to say that it's going to happen yet.
Love you checking in with us, Zach. How did you enjoy Las Vegas?
I did as well as the Eagles did at the blackjack table. But I mean, this is an awesome place for a game. I'm happy to get out here. Looking forward to getting home, and it's probably going to be a little different in Detroit next week.
8 years from now, well, they have casinos in Detroit too. Just make sure you have a police escort. That'll be fine. You'll be okay. Zach, great job, buddy. We appreciate it. Safe travels.
I look forward to next week. Thanks, guys.
Zach Berman from The Athletic checking in with us on the Comcast Business Hotline. He does such a fantastic job and with the insights there. And it's difficult because it must be difficult, Bob. You covered bad teams over the years that were
got a PhD in it.
That were purposely trying to be bad.
Bob left when they got good.
What do you do when that's so painful, Pat? Why in the world what do you do though when the coaching staff you're covering is terrible and they're not trying to be terrible? You covered teams that were trying to lose purposely.
Yeah, it's when you're a player, and I hear what you're saying, John, just keep your head down and play.
Yes,
and
be a professional.
I do. I agree with that, but when you're a player and you're looking up and you're seeing a coach be somewhat inept, it's frustrating because it might not be about you. It might be like, look, I'm playing hard, but I see talent over there and they're not using him. Or I see something that we should do and they're not calling it. I think it's getting real close to a boiling point here. I really do. And I'm not calling for an uprise or anything like that. And I'm not saying they're going to come out, players are going to come out and say the coaches are bad. But it's starting to simmer at the least and maybe getting to a boiling point at the most.
Could be happening. You know, UPS is hiring warehouse workers just in case there's any changes in the Eagles coaching staff today. They're hiring warehouse workers near you, and they're starting up to $24 an hour after bonuses. You can apply at upsjobs.com/shift. Make the shift and make a difference with our friends from UPS. They do a great job for you. And much like Zach Berman, down at the tables. In fact, I will not go back to the tables today before we leave. I am not, but every single machine that I've touched for video blackjack or whatever, it's worked. But nothing at the tables. Never had a worse trip as far as success at the tables. No run.
I blame Pat.
Why?
I got cleaned out in about 20 minutes my first day.
No, I just blame Pat for anything that went wrong.
Okay, so Pat went wrong. We're going to blame that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I was told that was a good strategy when I started here. Just to blame you.
Yeah, look, if the check's clearing, you guys can blame me for whatever you want. I don't really care. You know, as long as the 1st and the 15th gets paid, it's fine with me.
You can write that letter to Congress too. Business Roundtable wants you to know with expensive gas and groceries, some in Congress are now pushing tax hikes on you with the government spending that's going to make inflation worse. Congress wants you to protect hardworking Americans. Business Roundtable trying to get that message out to you, so have your voice heard. We appreciate them. Who waves the white flag? I promise you we do it right after the bottom of the hour. Someone is doing it first. And there will be 3 other people who are not jumping yet. The drama, it unfolds. Plus, we'll tell you about more of the hijinks, including a narrated magic show. It's the John Kincade Show. It's my favorite. It's my favorite tease of the day. A narrated magic show. In what world? Will you hear this coming up next here on The Fanatic?
Most of you know by now about my terrific experience with the North Penn family of dealerships. I just sent my cousin there to see my sales guy, Matt, who helped me and my family get in our new car, and I knew that Matt would have inventory. A lot of people out there are struggling to just find cars these days. You know, there's a shortage going on with some chips. Whatever that means, it's tough to find cars. Well, North Penn Mazda wants you to know the most
Mandalay Bay Resort, using their beautiful radio studios here, and Football Monday on the Fanatic, brought to you by Pierce Phelps, Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors. Visit nopaybryant.com. Get flexible spending options on a new heating and cooling system. So, we got Inside the Birds tonight, by the way, at 6 o'clock, right after the Mike Missinelli show. One of us is going to wave the white flag today on Jalen Hurts. It took 7 games. We promised we would evaluate, we would watch with open eyes, and our YouTube audience is going to get to watch it up close and personal. Here's the white flag. What's really a towel? Pat, you don't
want this.
Pat
Get
doesn't
away
want it.
from me.
Wait a minute. Well, Bob, you can have it.
Nah, I'm good.
Bob's not. No, Connor doesn't. No. He doesn't get to wave the white flag.
Connor.
Then I might as well take it. And
sitting in for Jamie.
I'm not waving it either.
Let me snatch that.
Jamie is waving the white flag. We will have video of this later for you so we can prove it. Jamie, you're first to make the jump. Explain why. Explain why.
I haven't seen enough from Jalen Hurts. It's not what I'm seeing. It's what I'm not seeing. I don't think he's going to be the guy for this team. He could be the guy maybe for some other team someday. I don't see it. He has a tendency to leave clean pockets too often, to miss plays on the field, and his arm simply isn't strong enough, in my opinion, to make all the necessary throws, and not only strength, accuracy too. There's just too many throws left out on the field on a consistent basis. I'm shocked I'm first because, in my opinion, it usually takes 3 years to judge a player fairly. This is an accelerated timeline, as we all know here. I've seen 11 games now,
right,
and I can't deny my gut anymore, and my football gut is telling me this guy is not a franchise quarterback. I'm out. I'd be surprised if I regret these words, but I don't think he's the guy for the future to build around. And it's nothing personal. He's a very likable kid. He's very easy to root for. I just don't think he has the skill set needed to be a franchise quarterback in the NFL.
Jamie pulls the trigger first. Of the three of us, anybody close?
I'm very close.
I'm very, very close.
Jamie, we're right there with you. All three of us saying we are very close too.
I got to be honest. Yeah. It was kind of like the competition in Seinfeld. I don't know how to reword the competition, but
I'm out.
A personal thing. Yeah.
Master of their domain.
Yeah, the master of your domain competition. I'm kind of just waiting for somebody else to do it. So bad performance on Sunday. I'm probably.
Well, you got the Detroit Lions.
I think Jamie fell, by the way, behind us.
So you got the Detroit Lions. Jamie fell. That's terrible.
So
he fell behind
he
us.
Throws the white flag.
He
so
threw the
hard
white
that
flag.
He fell.
All right. Well, very much we were surprised on. So Jamie's first out. We will.
Yeah,
add
like
more.
To me, the biggest thing when judging a quarterback or not is pocket presence and awareness. Like Joe Burrow made this play yesterday where he had somebody crashing in from his right side, and he blindly, without looking and changing his eyes downfield, stepped up in the pocket and made a laser throw to the tight end, who ended up having a 75-yard touchdown. Like, that little thing to me is something I've never really seen with Hurts. I don't see his Mr. Miyagi skills in the pocket, and I see a guy that wants to run out of said pocket at the drop of a dime. And I don't know if that's something you can get a whole lot better at. I think it's in you or it isn't. And I fear it's just not in Jalen.
Doesn't seem like it is. So Jamie's first out, but we all admit we're right. We're very close. We're all very close.
Very.
I just, the more I watch him, I just think to myself, man, he would be a really good backup in this league.
I don't even know about that.
I mean, you know, if you bring him in as a juice guy, like your quarterback gets hurt and you need him for 1 week, and the team doesn't have a chance to prepare for a guy that can run a little bit, that can do different things. That's what I want out of my backup quarterback. To me, that's what he's bleeding right now.
All right, well, on Saturday afternoon, one of the great things we did with Philly Sports Trips was get a chance to go to a magic show. Now, there's one of the things that when you go to a movie, like, you don't speak.
Yeah.
And, Pat, you keep distance from people at the movie theater. You don't want to be distracted by people talking.
No, I was keeping social distancing before it was a thing.
You were doing that, very friendly. I got to tell you this, is though what I can't understand is that I've never been to a magic show that was narrated before. John Durenboss put on a hell of a magic show, Bob.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Bob had it up close and personal because the narrator was placed in the audience right next to Bob.
And Bob didn't even have to pay for those for the extra narration.
And
That was cool.
And the narrator, excuse my voice there, the narrator showed up in swim trunks.
Yeah.
To the theater in swim trunks.
I would call them swim panties.
No, those were swim trunks.
Swim
they are
panties.
panties.
Because they weren't even
short.
Trunks to me, like, have some length to them.
No, there was no
They were
length to
swim
them.
panties.
It looked like something, it looked like, sleepover at Richard Simmons. I mean, it really did. Like, I think Richard was going to do a Sweatin' to the Oldies.
It was a good look. I thought it was a good
Connor
look.
Thomas was there who thought it was good to wear swim trunks to a theater in Vegas.
Is Richard Simmons still missing?
Is he missing?
Yeah, he was he
When?
might be being held captive in his own house.
Richard Simmons is being held captive.
Oh yeah, he hasn't been seen or heard from.
My old friend Richard. Oh, that's terrible.
Because nobody sees him.
Connor,
so we don't know where he is.
Connor, I don't know.
Connor looked like he just came from a private tour of Liberace's house.
I mean, it
by
really
Liberace.
did. What Connor? Speak for yourself. First of all, the narrated tours. Connor did not stop talking. The entire magic show. He was amazed, but every thought that came into his head, he shared with the entire row, the people behind him and the people in front of him.
Some people like closed captions when they watch a show or a movie.
That's
And you
what I
can't do that
like.
in person. So I need to make a couple extra bucks. So I talked to the guys from Philly Sports Trips. I talked to Vince, and I said, "Can you throw me some scratch if I commentate and give you the closed captions in an oral way?"
I think
I went ahead and did that.
Well, what they did is they realized that if they plied you with alcohol earlier in the day at a beach club, you would show up and you would be in a very giddy mood.
I was excited for the Magic show. I enjoy Magic. I'm a fan. I enjoy the Eagles and John Dorenbos, a great Eagle. So
Right.
it was my worlds colliding. Eagles, Magic,
and liquor.
A little bit.
A little bit. You were
panties.
absolutely. You're wearing swim panties at a show in Vegas
Connor.
in a theater on the Strip.
Connor was living his best life.
Did
What
you
are you
post
doing?
a picture of his shorts by any chance?
I had. So there's videos up on our Instagram account. Just look at the John Kincade show on Instagram, and there is video of Connor's reaction, which was the entire show.
The entire show.
I only got one reaction from him, but it was the entire show. And then I spliced it.
In what world?
All I'm saying is, in what world is that possible?
I spliced
There's no
it
way.
with the scene from Old School of like, did you have a good time? I had an awesome time. Everybody knows you had a good time.
Jamie, it was
did
incredible.
have a great time.
Jamie, you never seen anything like it.
I saw the video that Pat posted. His reaction was like that of like a 6-year-old that
Yes.
saw
Yes.
Magic for the first time.
Yes.
I've
Wait a
never
minute.
been to a Magic
Wait a
show
minute.
before.
There
though.
was an
I've
8-year-old.
never seen it on TV. I thought it might be TV Magic. But
There
in
was an
person.
8-year-old one row behind us who was there for his first Magic show, sitting center as guest of John Dorenbos. That
That's
kid
awesome.
shut up the entire
He was
time.
a Magic snob. He doesn't know a good trick when he sees it.
The kid shut up the entire time and watched the show. Connor, I mean, there's nothing is I don't know what if a sales is listening, there may be an endorsement in here that if you're shy or something like that, Connor can lead you to something that will just make you just narrate an entire show in a theater.
I'm not normally shy. I'm not like
This is funny because somebody's sitting in a glass house just chucking stones out there.
In a theater?
John
No.
Kincade, who I was sitting next to, it was John, me,
Heavy
Bob. Heavy Chevy, John, me, Bob, and then Connor. And both of you guys, you were doing the same thing to a certain extent.
Uh-oh.
You were
I shook my head.
Uh-oh.
Chevy, back me up. This is John the entire time. Oh my God.
Yes, it was. No. I was.
How?
Very much so. Very much so.
How's he doing that?
in what world?
It wasn't to you. It
No,
wasn't to
no,
anybody
you're
else.
right. That narrator
It was the whole audience.
Exactly.
It was the whole audience
you were
doing
it
that.
to the
I was
whole
talking to
audience.
my good friend Bob.
It was the whole audience
Chevy,
doing
am I
And
that.
it might have
wrong?
been loud enough other people could hear.
No.
Listen,
Oh my God.
guys, it wasn't the opera, okay? It was a fun Magic show.
It was a blast.
It was a great
and
show.
he puts
It
on an
was.
incredible
John Dorenbos
performance.
is awesome.
He's doing his performance in Philly, so we got to get him on.
Good, we will absolutely.
Coming
He
up,
was,
like
he
in
was
2 or 3 weeks.
fantastic.
I'll go banana hammock this time.
No, you won't.
Go even shorter.
Not sitting
And
your ass.
you'll go alone this time.
All right, let's check out our juror audio for the hour.
It's the John Kincade Show's inaugural Birds Jury of 12. Now, let's head to the courtroom.
All
got,
right,
Jamie?
first juror we'll hear from in this segment is Kirsten from Florida. Kirsten, take it away.
Hey guys, Kirsten here, aka Kristen from Florida. So that was miserable. Our offense is mind-numbingly dull. I'm pretty sure I could call better plays blindly mashing buttons on the Xbox remote while I'm trying to play Madden. Next, we can't even snap the ball, apparently. And unfortunately, despite the ineptitudes of our play caller, I think I'm finally ready to say that Jalen Hurts is not the guy.
Oh boy.
Oh, Kirsten
boy,
joins
she
me in
threw
the
it.
flag waving.
Yes, she threw the flag first. Jamie, you were bold and beautiful on that one. I mean, you're going bold, and we're all going to be joining you, it looks like.
Well,
So, I
that's
mean,
2 of the 4 jurors so far that have said I'm out on Hurts.
It's unbelievable.
And look, I think he needs to play the rest of the year. I'm not saying to bench him or to go to Flacco or Minshew or
why
anything.
does he need it? You've already thrown the white flag.
Because, like I said, I think 11 games is still pretty early to make that judgment. And there's really nothing else to play for this year. I don't think Minshew's the guy. Flacco's certainly not the guy. So I'd rather just give Jalen those remaining games.
I don't know why if you throw the white flag, Bob, that you wouldn't want to see what one of the backups, if the backups are worth sticking around next year to be the backup quarterback.
Yeah, Flacco, I agree with you, Jane, but I think I might give Minshew a chance. I really do. I think I might look at him and say, okay, is this a guy that will prove to me that maybe he could be a quarterback for a year or two, and I can use those 3 picks all on defense next year?
Yes.
Because if you don't like what's coming out from the quarterbacks from college this year, I think I'm not far off now from giving Minshew a chance.
No.
I have no need.
No, and it's
Why?
Honestly, it's only because I am in full draft pick mode. And I don't feel like seeing Gardner Minshew win 3 garbage games for this team.
Good point.
That do not matter when
That's
they're going
not
to
a
end
bad
up drafting
point.
a quarterback, and it's not going to be Gardner Minshew. So no, I am not. At this point, I'm put the team that gives you the best chance to lose as Jamie falls behind us.
All right, Jamie, what's the other one?
Next juror up is Jeremy. Take it away.
Yo, this is Jeremy. I'm juror number 1. And what more is there to say? This really falls on the defense and the lack of preparation. And the coaches. Yeah, the extra time. And it seems like once Miles Sanders went down, there was no more game plan. And it was back to the same old, same old.
You know, they love ball. These coaches love ball. They love ball. They coach
Dog
ball.
mentality.
They talk ball. We're all about ball. The only thing more pandering that I could see that might come from Nick Sirianni is if he shows up today in a Ben Simmons jersey. That may be where he goes.
There was a picture floating around the internet of him, and someone photoshopped the Mr. Softy Ben Simmons thing and was like, all right, he's gone too far.
He's going really far. I mean, it's the only thing left that he
Yeah.
can possibly play.
He's just outmatched. Like he is. I don't say these things lightly, but he is. The first series, they looked really good. Well, what's the easiest thing to coach during the week? The first series,
Yes.
right? Come up with a game plan, see if it works, and then after that, he just went mind numb. And I can't help but think this guy's totally overmatched in an NFL game right now.
All right, Jamie, where are we going last?
Final juror is Allie. What do you say, Allie?
Hey, it's Allie, Juror 9. That game was a real bummer. Our interception in the first quarter didn't lead to anything, which kind of seems like a trend with this team. I don't know what they were thinking in the third quarter when we could have just run it in for a touchdown. And our defense just looked awful. It was mostly just infuriating and kind of embarrassing to watch. So, yeah, can't say I have many positive takeaways from this game, except for Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith. They both played well.
There you go. When you're on the goal line again, he doesn't understand goal line offense. I can't figure it out. It fascinates me. It fascinates me that he just disregards what all smart people do in football and says we're going to do something different over and over again.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton, and it's not paying off.
I don't understand it, Bob. Like, you want to reinvent the wheel.
Look, if you're a coach and you go out there and you see something working, I don't understand how you don't go back to it. But his reluctance to do it is mind-boggling. I loved what he did to start the game. It's almost as if he listened to us and got under center, and he let Miles Sanders get a running start before he handed him the ball, and he ran the ball well, and then they stopped. 8 of the next 9 plays is shotgun again. I don't know.
If he listens to us, I do apologize this morning. We've been a little rough. Pat, where are we going on the phones?
Let's go to Rob, who's been waiting patiently. Rob from South Philly.
Hi, Rob. Welcome to the Fanatic.
Hey, how you feeling, John? How y'all feeling, man?
We're doing all right, man.
All right, so I'm going to just be quick, man. I can't have this man picking these picks. I can't.
Are you talking about Howie or are you talking about Sirianni?
I'm talking about this GM, this general manager, Howie Roseman. The Roseman who's destroying the team. That's what I'm talking about. But
Roseman, I like that.
It's just getting to the point where it is draft position. We're gonna be horrible. The coach just beat the 49ers, but it's just like, why don't we value linebacker? Why can't we just have good picks like all the other teams. Like, wow, why can't we just pick the right players? And people got, and I'm gonna just say this, and I'm gonna be done. Why do this guy just you just destroy things? You just here to destroy things. He has to be fired. Just fire him.
All right. I don't think it's going to happen fast. Thank you, buddy. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But Jamie, you understand his passion. You
Yeah,
understand the
certainly.
passion.
Look, I wanted Howie removed last year. I thought it had been too long with too many draft failures. He's good at trading in the NFL. That's been established. But as we see right now, when you take a huge cap hit from a Carson Wentz, you don't have the depth on the roster to be able to make up for that because you don't really have a lot of youth you can count on as building blocks right now. And that's the most troubling part of the season so far. If you look at this defense, there's maybe 2 guys you feel good about? That's not good enough for a rebuild. And look, you can spend your first 2 or 3 first-rounders on defense. It's still a long way to go. There's a lot of holes on this roster.
The group at KGL Skin Study Center is recruiting for an atopic eczema study for adults in Newtown Square. So you can get paid up to $375 if you volunteer. Go to KGLSkinStudyCenter.com. KGLSkinStudyCenter.com. Did you hear Jason Kelsey's opinions on Ben Simmons the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
The a caller, a listener, sends me an email. Let me get it up here because I don't want to misquote him. Chris Daly. His name is Chris Daly.
What do you say, Chris?
And he says, speaking. No, I'm sorry, Chris. This is a different one. This is on the Ben Simmons from the other day. Chris.
Well, is it Chris or is it not?
No, it's Chris. He sent me another one today.
Come on.
He says, guys, I think it
Chris?
is great that Jason Kelsey thinks Ben Simmons should man up. However, where was Kelsey when Carson Wentz wanted to be traded because he didn't feel the organization didn't have faith in him? Shouldn't Jason Kelsey have told Carson Wentz to man up and stop asking to be traded?
Well, Carson Wentz didn't come out publicly and say that, right? I don't ever remember Carson Wentz coming out publicly and saying I can't play in Philadelphia anymore.
No.
My problems are because of somebody else. My this, my that. He didn't
Well,
come
we
out
didn't hear
publicly
Ben
and say
Simmons
it.
say it either.
Well, it was out there that
But
he
his
didn't
camp
deny
was
it.
saying it.
Well, he didn't
and
deny
he didn't
it.
deny it. Well, Carson didn't deny it either.
Carson's agents, though.
Carson didn't deny it ever once.
The Tollner brothers, or Carson's agents, they didn't make a PR campaign to get their client out. It was known that he wanted out. Yes, did they go to the organization and say, let's facilitate a trade? But it wasn't the circus that Clutch Sports
Oh, it's a circus, yes.
basically created out of thin air with the Ben Simmons situation.
2 of the biggest circuses going on in pro sports right now, Bob, are happening in our town.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Little did I know that Circus was named after Philadelphia sports.
I didn't realize
We
that.
just can't have nice things. We can't have nice things.
You heard it from Rob. Rob sounds like a broken fan, and I can't blame him. Because he's sitting there why can't we just have good draft picks?
I can't believe, though, Jamie, the idea that we've heard from quite a few people that are like, I turned the game off or I walked away. That, to me, is the ultimate indictment, if I'm an owner of a business, that people do not want to consume it at all. They're just like, I can't have this anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Look, I did my first hayride yesterday. I thought you guys would be proud of me in the morning.
Oh, that was
yeah,
nice.
I know.
How was it?
It was, it was fine.
No, you didn't enjoy it. I can tell.
I didn't know with the hay sticking up my butt and the uncomfortable back.
What were you wearing?
Seriously?
Connor shorts? How do you get hay up your butt?
I don't know. Those things are pokey.
You wear jeans.
Those things are pokey.
You wear
No,
jeans.
I don't. I'm not really a jeansman.
Were you wearing flip-flops?
No, I was wearing slippers actually.
Slippers?
well, no. Little did we know it was
They look
a
like
private
shoes.
hayride. It was a private
Yeah.
Why do you wear
hayride
so Jeeves
around his property.
Jeeves got a Jeeves brought in
Springwood.
some
I
of
was in
this.
ultimate
private
lazy mode yesterday. I went and I look like a slob. I'll admit it.
Why are you doing that?
Because I don't know. I just didn't care yesterday.
Didn't you
It was
take pictures?
predictive. Of Skylar, not of me. But anyway, it ruined a nice Sunday. We went pumpkin picking, had some apple cider donuts, did the whole thing, and then came
delicious
home
item.
and watched. Apple cider donuts are overrated. but
When
that's for
did you
another
shower?
story.
By
They're
the way?
what? Overrated?
Yeah, they're overrated.
Shut your
Yeah, they're
mouth.
overrated.
Both of you shut your mouth.
They're bland.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
They're
not.
bland
Yeah,
donuts.
I
so
agree.
good.
They're
They're
bland
overrated.
donuts.
Break and we'll throw hands.
They're very
Give me a
bland.
glazed Krispy Kreme any day over that.
There's just
you
it's a bland flavor. It's one of those like pumpkin spice.
Now you've
Yeah.
gone too far.
Oh, pumpkin spice this, which has no pumpkin in it.
And then the Eagles peed in
Not
my
one
cereal.
bit. And then the Eagles went out and just continued to tear us up. Look, we're all a little testy this morning. It's not even 6 a.m. here in Vegas, and we're watching people wander in. Not many even walks of shame. That's how bad a night it was. Not even a lot of walks of shame out there
I watched the
tonight.
walk of shame last night when the Eagles left the field.
Oh, my gosh.
It's the
Terrible.
ultimate walk of shame.
No, across that bridge last night, it was a scene from The Walking Dead. It looked like it, where everybody's just moving
A lot of
towards
sadness.
because it was terrible. It was absolutely awful. We have more chance for you to get in and chat with us at 610-632-0975. I'll deliver the verdict on yesterday's action and more. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to MGM Resorts. Thanks to Philly Sports Trips. We appreciate them all. It's the John Kincade Show here on The Fanatic.
Hey guys, it's Connor Thomas from the John Kincade Show, and I want to tell you about something that gets me even more excited than a great magic show. So let me tell you what happened. I heard from my folks over at Harris, Philadelphia, and they told me about the new Blast Poker on the World Series of Poker Real Money mobile app. And you know what I said? In what world can they deal you in fast? In this world. So let's deal you in fast, PA. You can put your skills to the test any time of the day with these Super Turbo Texas Hold'em tournaments where you could win your share of up to $300,000. Just download the app or head to WSOP.com and get $50 of free play on deposit using promo code DIAMOND. And guess what? You can even do it if you're wearing really short swim trunks. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or over and NPA to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Entertaining Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. Philadelphia. Now, back to the John Kincade Show.
Live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Brought to you by PhillySportsTrips.com.
On 97.5 The Fanatic. Philadelphia.
Great job to our friend Dylan McKinnon, doing a great job running the board for us.
What do you say there, D-Train?
Killing it.
I think he's doing a great job.
He's got your Carson Wentz stat tracker, too, on the 97.5thefanatic.com.
So he does math, too?
He does good math. He's got it, like, broken down to the nth degree. So, basically, the latest one, Carson Wentz, by going the law of averages that the Colts have been on, has to play 6 more games, and they're guaranteed the pick.
Okay.
It's 5.9 to be exact.
And they're going to, because if you look at their schedule, it's very easy. The Colts might have a shot at something here.
Yeah, they could have a shot at I still think that pick, the other day I said the pick's going to probably end up around 20.
That's
my
fine.
guess.
If you give me number 2, number 6, and number 20, let's party.
Miami's schedule gets easier, though, too, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they stink.
They are really bad. I was watching somebody that came yesterday. They're really bad.
Are they worse than the Eagles?
Probably.
Not that bad.
You think they're worse?
You think they're worse than the Eagles?
Is Tua worse than Jalen Hurts?
Tua has a better arm, but barely. That's a fair debate.
Somebody in our presence had to play Tua yesterday as their starting quarterback in fantasy football.
Wait,
and he'll rename
Who?
Was it Chevy?
Yeah, it was
Mikey
Chevy.
3 plates?
Did you win?
Where did Mikey 3 plates come from? Wait a minute. What the hell's this?
Oh, yeah, Mikey 3 plates.
So we went to, me and Mike linked up, went to breakfast, and we went to a buffet.
Okay.
So we went to the Bellagio buffet.
What's the price tag on that?
That was like $55 a person.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean, look.
I think Jamie could get his money's worth.
When you're working, yeah, it was
Jamie,
it was free.
you would get it.
Free champagne, free mimosas. Obviously, that
Well,
doesn't
not
really
free, it's
fit with me, but yeah, so it was really good. And then all of a sudden, Mike, 1 plate down, 2 plate down, 3 plates, and I go, whoa, Mikey 3 plates has arrived.
Yeah,
And
he
now
got it
he's-
done.
Now he's Mikey 3 plates.
It's amazing,
Mikey 3
though,
plates.
because he doesn't put on weight.
No.
He's 21 years old. I mean, God.
Seriously, I think he's 18, Bob. He's an intern.
Yeah, it could be.
I think he's interning. I'm not sure.
I don't even know how he got on this trip.
Heavy Chevy, I don't even know what's going on. I'm sure Mike Missinelli will ask. Hey, it's brought to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. Get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. And for details, go to Bagster.com. And just so Mike knows, we're very happy that Connor Thomas was on the trip.
Connor was nice enough to get himself an old-fashioned last night at dinner and raise a toast to Mike.
And that is by the way, Connor did offer a sip. That was the best old-fashioned I've ever taken. I don't prefer them, but that whiskey, whatever that was really, really nice. So I'll give you a verdict on the Eagles and the Raiders game yesterday and where I'm sitting this morning. I'm sitting between Bob and Pat. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that. But where am I sitting this morning? I'm sitting in the land of indecision because I don't know if the brass of the Philadelphia Eagles is going to do the right thing. I don't know if they're going to go out of their way to make sure that this can be corrected. It's 7 games in. Do I believe after week 15 we're going to be retracting and saying, you know what, Nick Sirianni's got this all figured out? Nick hasn't given me any reason to believe that he's going to figure this all out. Jonathan Gannon is an entirely different story. Do I understand, is Jeffrey Lurie going to get this figured out? Does he understand that he hired the most inexperienced coaching staff in the history of the NFL? I don't know who to trust with this Eagles organization right now, and I think that's the biggest problem. And if I don't know who to trust, it's impossible for me to have confidence that this team is going to be able to get this thing worked out. And that's where I'm at. I'm in a land of indecision because it all comes down to Jeffrey Lurie, or maybe it comes to Howie Roseman, or maybe it comes to Nick Sirianni. But whoever's making the decisions at every level of this organization right now has left us in a giant land of limbo. And that limbo is the worst place to be as a sports fan. And the 9 o'clock hour is brought to you by the Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. And if you've watched the Eagles, you understand the need for a dumpster because you can't have a dumpster fire without one. Get a Bagster. Get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. For details, go to Bagster.com. Jamie, go first on this. Is that I don't know, because if Jeffrey Lurie doesn't feel it like we do, will anything be affected at any level of the organization?
Well, look, I think if you talk to every single Eagles fans out there, they would say that Howie Roseman's drafting is the biggest issue. My buddy Violations Greg, I think, went through the last 28 draft picks that they've had. I think 21 of them are pretty much all misses. No Pro Bowlers.
God, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's just a really bad track record the past couple of years. So if this is the most important offseason, in recent memory to get right, because you're coming out out of the dead cap money from Wentz, you have all this draft capital. Do you really want to risk having that guy in control of your draft future? And you have to get it right this upcoming offseason, because hope is water in the desert right now, and we're searching for it, and there doesn't appear to be any oases around. So I personally would move on still. I appreciate he got us in this position where we're cheering against Miami every week, but I don't know how you go back to him.
Right.
I really don't.
Hope is water in the desert, and there's no oases around.
I'll tell you, he's a wordsmith.
My God, Lynch, where has that been all
he's
your life?
He's a wordsmith.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm really, really highly doubting this coaching staff, and it sounds like no bleep. But I don't know if you can have this organization moving forward with what you have in place right now at the coaches. I don't. They just seem so out of place. They're not getting any better. Rich Gannon.
Not Rich Gannon.
Oh, my God. Jonathan Gannon is just.
No, Rich Gannon's available. He was at Parks yesterday.
Might have, yeah.
We may have to bring him down.
Jonathan Gannon, what are you doing out there? You can go out there and try things, and it doesn't work, and you get beat that way. He's not trying anything. Short of putting 11 guys on the field, I don't know what else he does. I don't know what else is going on.
Sometimes he puts 12.
Fletcher Cox was questioning it yesterday. But I'm really questioning, do these guys, are they just in way over their head? Were they hired too soon to be head coaches and defensive coordinators and all that? Because I'm just not seeing anything.
By the way, do you consider that leadership, Pat? Getting behind the microphone and throwing your coaches under the bus? Especially when your performance has not been good. Do you do that? To me, I'd say you look in the mirror first and you save that for private. You don't throw the coach under the bus when I want Fletcher Cox to tell us, how bad have you been playing this year?
Yeah, self-awareness is big with me. It's always been big with me. But it sounds like just from past speaking with the media and whatnot this season, Fletcher Cox thinks that his lack of production is because of the scheme.
He's blaming it on somebody else every time.
But I will say, if the entire team is going, this dude ain't it, then some veteran has to speak up and say, yeah, maybe this dude isn't it.
I don't view it as leadership. I view it as desperation. Like, for three players to kind of allude to coaching being a problem after that game tells me there's a high level of concern in there.
Don't you take that to the owner, Jamie? You don't take it to a public press conference. That's not leadership. That's not a veteran leader doesn't do that.
I don't think it's leadership. I think it's desperation.
Yeah, but you gotta be professionals. I mean,
do you?
Yeah, Bob. You covered enough teams. How many teams? How many times do you see players who, by the way, are playing like crap, not playing to their capabilities, turn the tables and blame coaches behind a microphone? To me, that's unacceptable.
I hear you, and ideally, yes, it is unacceptable. And ideally, you want to say, I have to do better. I can't look at anybody first and foremost. But is it getting to the point where they are just so overridden with, what is this guy doing? It can't help but come out. Fletcher Cox was asked about it not only yesterday, but weeks ago. Remember, with the laugh,
right?
And he came out and laughed and said, "I don't know what's going on here." Look, there's something bad going on where these players don't believe in it either. And if they feel like they're not extracting the best that they have to give the football team, meaning the coaches, from players, well, this is going to be a lot shorter term for Sirianni and Gannon than any of us thought it was going to be.
You may not always. What was that?
Whoa, Peter Brady.
You may not always need a new water heater, but when you do, choose Bradford White. You can always count on your friends to prop you up when you're struggling a little bit.
Time to change.
You may not always need a voice box, but when you do.
My buddy Joe texts me and he says, "You sound like a male Demi Moore." I'm like, Joe, thanks a lot. That's just what I needed to hear.
That's attractive.
That's really what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
And I'm not buzz cutting my hair.
We all sound pretty rough.
You know what the weird thing is, though, is that none of us were yelling.
No, it was just a lot of talking with the great people yesterday at the tailgate, at
How
the
awesome
game.
was that, Bob?
That was. I'm not kidding you. And Vince, God bless you for putting this all together. And if you haven't gone on a sports trip before with him, You have to try it at least once. I had my 22-year-old son texting me all day yesterday just saying, God, I wish I was there. God, I wish I was there. It was that much fun. And to watch Egan and Connor and Mike get up and dance for everybody.
Which was fantastic, by the way, guys. That was great job.
Creeps me out a lot, but,
I was literally spooked.
I think it was great social media content and Pat Egan's dance moves.
Yep.
You're a really good dancer.
When the hips get going, look out.
I saw 3 or 4 women go, ooh.
Yeah.
Like I think they got impregnated by his dance moves yesterday.
Is it because you dance like you don't care who's watching? And that's the bottom line.
A little bit. I'm a guy who watched the movie Magic Mike and said, I could do that.
Like when Connor puts on those swim trunks. Very much like that same mentality. He puts it on. Everybody else knows it's wrong, but he looks at it and goes, you know what? These look good on me.
So here's how bad Egan was beating them in the dance contest yesterday. So first Mike was up, and then Mike tapped out.
Mike tapped out.
He turned behind him and went to Connor. Connor knew he was losing so bad, he thought he had to go to the strategy of taking his shirt off while he was out there. So he got like 3 or 4 buttons unbuttoned. He turned around, and then he's like, nah, I better not. And then he just tried to dance it off, but it didn't work. Egan was just
Egan dominated.
Egan was the Raiders to you guys being the Eagles yesterday.
I tried to get a gig at Thunder from Down Under.
I think there's a
they
contract
thought you were
being
too
worked
far
out.
under.
They thought I was way under.
Yeah,
way under. Like I was. It's in the name, the under part, but they weren't hiring. They said
boy.
We'll keep your application on file.
Okay.
So you know what that means.
Okay. Well, I think the other guys were a little nervous because of eye contact. They were looking, just in the room when you had your tryout. They were a little
when
concerned.
I show up with BDE, that energy that's flowing, the testosterone that's oozing out of me, people get intimidated. And I think that those guys from the Thunder from Down Under weren't going to be ready for me to get in there Jimmy Butler style and let them know there's a new sheriff in town.
Well, there is. Hey, with NJ Diet, you can lose 20 to 40-plus pounds in only 40 days, and it's contractually guaranteed. No shots, no hormones, no surgery. Visit njdiet.com. We appreciate, too, some of our fine sponsors who've been giving gifts to our guests, including gift cards to Philly Pretzel Factory, the great Philly Pretzel Factory back home. This morning we had a $100 gift card awarded to Jasper's Backyard, which is a lot of fun. Our friends from Primo with Primo gift cards, which is fantastic, and a $50 gift card from PJ Wellahan's also, and we got a pair of tickets to a Temple football game too. We're going to give away some of these today on our flight home.
Cool.
So we're going to see who can be the quietest on the way home. Could you please be quiet on the way home a little bit? On the way there was a very loud and raucous flight.
Yeah.
Are you expecting a quiet flight home today? I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, it's
going to
be like it's going to be like a red-eye flight.
Oh, okay.
I think that the lights will be dim, the windows will be closed.
People will try.
Shades.
Now, is there going to be some guy with a painted face that is going to be telling everybody EAGLES Eagles? You don't need to do that on a Monday.
Give me
right?
that 100 times.
Over what?
Over one time of hearing somebody try to start the "No one likes us, we don't care."
Oh, please.
It's the one fault I have with Jason Kelsey was introducing a lot of people to that song because it could not be farther from the truth.
Especially when it is. It's not. There can't be anything
so
further
bad.
from the truth.
I only want one thing on the plane today. EGAN Egan. That's all I want. That's all I need.
It'll get trending.
Can we have one of those? We're waving a gentleman taking a selfie there with us. Give him a little wave as he's outside of. That's Malik.
Yeah, he's an Eagles fan.
That's
from
our friend
Oakland.
Malik, who
From
listens
Oakland.
online. And Malik out there from Oakland, he's having a great time. Malik's friend offered me a little. He didn't
Zach.
offer me coffee. Zach.
Yeah.
He offered me something else. It's happened a few times in my radio career, but it's the first time it's happened here at the Fanatic.
From what I was told, he heard the mention of Wake and Bake in the morning, and he flew down here as quick as somebody who in Bob's can.
And he just said,
He
hey.
floated down here.
Yeah, he floated down all right. I don't think he's feeling any pain.
I said, Zach, I'm high on life, bud.
All right, it's time for the reach around the NFC East.
Let's do a reach around of the NFC East.
The reach arounds in Vegas might be expensive, but they're free here on the John Kincade Morning Show. Let's head to Dallas. Oh, wait, they're on bye. As we talked about on Friday, timely situation for them as Dak gets to rest up his Achilles, his ankle, his heel, whatever is bothering him that had him in the walking boot. They'll face the Vikings ahead this weekend, so no harm, no foul there in Dallas. The other two teams, well, one beat a really bad team and one lost to a pretty good team. Washington football team goes down to the Green Bay Packers 24-10. Now, the game was oddly close at times. I thought the Packers honestly would have won by a little bit more. But Taylor Heineke was an absolute turnover machine yesterday.
Oh, boy.
Stripped from behind, interceptions, fumbles at the goal line. I mean, he did it all. He grew up in Wisconsin. He grew up going to Lambeau and idolizing Aaron Rodgers. The talent difference was in neon out on that field. Look, he's probably a serviceable backup in this league, but if you're counting on him for many, many weeks of your season, you're not really going to go anywhere. Aaron Rodgers, didn't look like typical MVP Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think he really had to sweat that game at all yesterday. So the Washington football team goes down.
Oof.
Up in MetLife Stadium, well, the Giants win a very gross football game.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold returned to his old stadium at MetLife Stadium, and I guess he missed the bench because he found his ass on it during this game in favor of PJ or Phillip. Don't call me PJ Walker, formerly of Temple U.
Is he
Matt
now
Rule's
going
guy.
only by Phillip?
He's Phillip officially, I believe.
I think he's back to PJ.
Well, everything online says Phillip, but I think they were calling him PJ in the game. Whatever. Who cares? Sam Darnold, look, he looked good the first 3 or 4 games of the season, but as we talked about, they were playing nobodies. They were playing the Jets, the Texans, the Saints. Sam Darnold, he leveled out to his watermark again. He's Sam Darnold. That's pretty concerning if you're the Panthers. Not only is Christian McCaffrey, still out, but, the guy you thought was going to be a salvageable piece to kind of keep you afloat here until you find your true franchise quarterback, he's probably not it. And the Carolina Panthers will probably be addressing that again this offseason. It was one they had to take. There wasn't a lot of quarterbacks there on the market for them to experiment with. It made sense. You can't kill them for it. The Giants' injuries persisted. Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, and Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney all missed the game yesterday. Just kind of a gross, disgusting game. But that's NFC East football, baby.
There you go. NFC East.
It's a bad division.
Excitement.
Really bad.
Catch it. The NFC.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas ran away with it. I think I called it after week 2.
You did.
I was just like, yeah, Dallas has got this. This division's over.
You called the division faster than you called Jalen Hurts' starting career in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You did.
The
Patty,
NFC East is horrible.
Where are we going,
Well,
Patty?
it's a good segue because we'll go to Mike in South Philly, who wants to talk about that very topic.
What's up, buddy? Mike?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning,
buddy.
guys.
Turn whatever noise that's making, turn it down. What's going on?
I can make it quick. First of all, good morning. Long time listener, first time caller.
Thank you.
I'm waving a white flag on Sirianni and Jalen Hurts.
On both of them?
Jalen Hurts, yeah, on both of them. Sirianni looked completely outcoached every single game except for the Atlanta game.
Yeah, I still don't understand it. I still don't understand how that happened. I don't understand how they beat 32-6. They beat Atlanta.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I can't fathom
it was the
that
one
game.
game where Nick Sirianni was the better head coach.
And it's incredible.
In that game, he was the better head coach. Now, Arthur Smith has become a better head coach since that first game. I don't know if Nick Sirianni has at all.
Has another, pitch.
I think Nick Sirianni is just going off that one game. Like he found the blueprint for that one game, and he just keeps repeating it over and over because, callers have brought it up. I've brought it up. It's like when you play Madden, you just go to the same 4 plays that you're comfortable with. Well, that's some jagaloon playing Madden, for Christ's sake. This is a guy of a football team who seems to have 1 page of plays. 1.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if he goes to another part of the book and runs some of them, and they work, for some reason he doesn't like them, he goes back to the first page and continues to go there.
Jamie, Pat missed a golden opportunity Saturday night to meet the greatest hockey player of all time.
Air Force Amy?
Wayne Gretzky.
What did you do, Pat?
Well, first of all, I tried to meet up with Air Force Amy. She is on a holiday.
She's on holiday. Okay.
Yes.
That's very good.
She deserves her time off.
So,
where was the great one?
sitting having dinner with me at the bar.
Wait.
At
Yeah,
the
whoa,
lunch-
hey, whoa,
No,
yeah.
no, 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 no.
Me.
No, he was because I sent a picture and I go
He was.
because Wayne wanted to be very quiet. So I said I'm going to snap a picture and he goes very subtly, please. And I was very subtle, snapped the picture and I sent it to Pat. And I said I think I sent it to the guys too. I said Wayne Gretzky is here having dinner at the bar directly next to me. And nobody knew, Jamie, who he was.
Jamie, here's what
In
happened.
the entire crowded place, nobody knew who he
The
was.
Godfather. He sleeps right upstairs, 10 feet away.
Gretzky watches the show on YouTube. He found out John was in town,
And then he wanted to
flew
put
in.
himself there.
And he tracked him down all over the place. He looked all over Vegas. And he finally tracked him down at Yellowtail. And Gretzky wanted a picture of John.
Oh, I didn't realize. Well, he
And
didn't
John
take
said,
one.
please, it's not right this moment.
No, the best part was Egan sends John a text back and says, "Oh, where are you? Where are you?" And John says, "Oh, I'm at such and such, but he'll be gone before you get back here."
Because he was in the bill. They didn't know
Like
Pat
basically
was in the,
saying, "No, I don't want you guys to come see me."
No, it's going to be. He was going to be done because he'd already asked for the check.
I got ripped for doing the same thing when you went to fight some YouTuber and you were an hour away. I got ripped for saying, hey,
that he was there.
Hey,
you were
you're not
in the
gonna
same.
make it in time.
You were in the same building.
We were in the same building, and you texted us and said, "Yeah, he'll be gone.
You didn't tell me where you were.
He'll be gone."
You didn't tell me you were in the same building. You said,
wanted-
"Oh, I thought you were at Planet Hollywood."
I wanted to tell him how he stiffed me for an autograph when I was 9. I wanted to let him know. Let him
Well,
know what's up.
Have at
Hey,
it, Pat.
Well, he likes sake.
Why'd you do that
He
to me?
likes sake. Does that
It
shock
doesn't
you?
do anything for me.
I can't. I've never had. I don't think I've ever had it.
I've had sake.
Is it any good?
Sake's cool.
Like a small shot
okay.
glass, though.
Yeah,
it's very
not-
small. It's not like a normal
Yeah,
shot.
do some sake bombs.
Okay, well, he was getting his backside handed to him in the high rollers room, which I was not invited into. But I tried to get.
How do you know he's getting his backside clean?
You have to be invited into the high roller room.
You can't just walk in?
No.
Pat could. Pat
Sir,
and I
how
made
you
our
doing?
way down to the best seats in the house yesterday without anybody
Oh
questioning
my
us
God.
once.
I know.
The security at Allegiant Stadium. So we're sneaking down in there because B West was like, "Yeah, just walk down." And we're like, "No, you're in a private club." And we walk down and we're like, "This is never gonna work." And Bob walks up, "Yeah, hi. We're supposed to meet this guy Brian Westbrook here." And the guy was
I
like,
showed the guy a text.
literally a text. And the guy was like, "Yeah, hold on." And Bob looks at me and he goes, "This isn't gonna work." No, he was saying hold on to get the other people to move out of the way to let us in.
Yeah. We were down like right on the field.
Bob
Legit.
can if you act like you belong.
That's all it
right?
is.
You act
That's
like you
all it is.
belong.
I said, Pat, let's give it a
The
try.
guy's like, "Yeah, there's this guy and his kid here, and they want to meet some Westbrook dude."
You act like you belong. And
Oh,
nobody's
that's
going to
funny.
question it. If you act like you belong, you've got your
We
opportunity.
got right
there.
down there, didn't we, Pat?
We did indeed, Bobby.
Yes, we did.
We thought you were in the bathroom. That was the text we received. We thought you were in the bathroom.
Well, you know,
We would have invited you down, but he was
Uh-huh.
leaving.
Yeah, sure.
He was going to be out before you got there.
610-632-0975 if you want to jump in with us live from Las Vegas. We're at the Mandalay Bay, and daylight is just starting to break, sort of. It's the John Kincade Show on the Fanatic.
This is the John Kincade Show.
Live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Brought to you by Philly Sports Trips.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna have some food.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some.
I like eating.
I like food.
Bob's gonna get coffee.
Yes.
You function without coffee since 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Sure.
That's really good.
I'm a functioner.
I'm jealous of the breakfast because I can't remember the last time I actually went out for a brunch, but I am not jealous of your travel day.
Well, it's not brunch. This is breakfast. It's 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, brunch can still be breakfast, right?
No. Brunch is brunch. Breakfast is breakfast.
I'm reverting Jamie on this one.
What?
Jamie knows food.
What? Breakfast is breakfast. Brunch is brunch.
If Jamie says it,
Yeah, but brunch is breakfast.
it's good.
No, brunch is not breakfast. If brunch was
Yeah.
breakfast, you'd call it breakfast.
Nah.
If I ate a
Yes.
pizza right now, I would call it breakfast.
No,
Yeah.
you'd call it pizza.
Brunch is breakfast.
What'd you have for breakfast? Pizza.
Bob, if you have pizza for breakfast, that's really going to
I'm a simple guy.
Brunch was created so when guys
Just a later breakfast,
When
yeah.
guys ask their wives or girlfriends, "What do you want to go eat?" and they go, I don't know. This covers all bases.
Oh, it does.
So
Why did
that's
you
why
just do
brunch was
the Addy?
impressive.
Why did you just do the Addy
I
voice?
didn't do an Addy voice.
You did. You did Jamie's Addy voice.
I don't know.
You did. That's the Addy voice.
You can pick.
Jamie, that
I think that's like the just the go-to line for every guy imitating a wife.
the we. Yeah.
That's the go-to voice.
And then all of a sudden you sit down and they give you the menus and you're like, oh, what do you want?
Bob, you and I
don't
do
know.
not do that. With
I don't
our
know.
wives'
There's nothing
voices.
on here.
I never I
We do
never
not
talk.
imitate our
I never
wives.
make my wife sound like a mouse.
Oh, okay.
Like
so
you
you're better
guys.
than me? You're better
Yeah,
than Jamie?
yeah.
I'm pretty
I mean,
sure I
you're
am.
not.
We're
Yeah.
just-
You're
no.
not.
Well, then
Hey.
I'll say my wife's better than your wife.
Oh boy.
Nah.
Hey,
Oh, boy.
if you're committed to being upfront with your customers, you are NJM. You get no jingles, you get no mascots, you just get great insurance. Get a quote today at njm.com. One of our listeners, Carter, says you got no chance for a quiet flight home. You're going to have angry Eagles fans. I think it's going to be a quiet flight. I'm expecting it to be pretty quiet.
I think it's going to be very, very quiet. Yes, I don't think that the what do you call them, flight attendants?
Yes.
I don't think they're going to have to lie to the passengers like they did on the flight out here, saying,
Which
"Oh,
was
we
what?
ran out of beer. We ran out of beer," when then they were right in front of us saying, "Well, we didn't really run out of beer, but we don't want people drinking so much on this flight." I don't think they're going to have to worry about that.
I applaud the charter group that they allow one alcoholic beverage per person every time that they come through, and they come through twice on the flight. I really applaud that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
That
don't
works.
need
I'm
I
not
don't
a
need
drinker
somebody
while
to go,
flying.
yeah, I'm pounding 17 beers. I'm 22 again. Stop.
I really
Connor.
appreciate the fact that it was bottomless Cokes on the flight.
It was?
Like unlimited. They didn't even charge me.
I think we're going to get home this week from this weekend, and your wife is going to say to you, "How much Coke did you have this weekend, Pat?"
A lot
Because
of
you
Coke.
throw a lot of Coke down.
You did. You were
Yeah,
really.
Well, when in Vegas,
All right.
do as the Vegasans do.
Well, this morning, Connor says, are you worried? Are you concerned? Because there's a really bad storm's coming to Philadelphia. So I was like, oh, my gosh. I think we need to text Adam Joseph to get an update direct from Action News. So Adam Joseph has provided us with, unless there are delays from where the plane is coming, you will squeeze out flying in. Our weather really starts to turn downhill after 10, more like 11 tonight. So he says, Vegas, huh? I won't ask. He doesn't want any details of what happened in Vegas, staying in Vegas. So we now know.
We are probably the most calm group of 5 or 6 of us that has ever come to. Like Grussman, we saw on Friday for the show and today for the show. So I don't know what the hell he did for
Well,
the
when
weekend.
I saw him
He was
dragging
burying bodies.
He was dragging
Yeah.
a body out in the elevator last night when I saw him.
Air Force Amy wasn't actually on vacation.
But
Grussman was.
for the rest of us, we had a good, calm. Well, Connor had, It
was a great time.
Connor had a Saturday, but we were a very calm, stoic group.
I don't know about stoic.
Well, the only time I got to tell you that two of my best things while being here was watching Egan get ice cream. I mean, there is no excitement in an individual than there is with, and Mike, you can attest because he bought you ice cream the other night. I've never seen anyone as happy when they get ice cream as Pat Egan.
Two things I did really well this weekend was I Euro stepped all over Las Vegas. I was just another victim.
He was.
And
He was
then
killing it.
I dominated ice cream. Old Patty Two Scoops over here was just dominating, throwing it back. I could go for some ice cream now, actually. if it's
tomorrow there'll be ice cream out by the time we get on our bus to go to the
I'm all
airport.
About that. There's always a good time for ice cream.
You got a mall that you can get
Breakfast,
to for that.
Lunch, dinner,
which is great.
You can always do with some ice cream.
Well, I mean, does the we'll be having breakfast.
Bob.
Jamie's going to go. What are the odds that Jamie goes and has breakfast on the way home somewhere?
Sounds really good about now.
You can't though, right? You have to get home.
Bob,
take care of the
if
family.
it's a quick
don't
breakfast, I could. But then she'd probably want to stab me for going to breakfast without her.
She'd want to stab
you? I would think.
Out of jealousy.
I think she'd just want to stab you out of just wanting to stab you.
Nah, she loves me.
Bob, do you want to tell the people what happened when we went to Ben and Jerry's?
Come on, Bobby.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Bobby.
So we go to Ben and Jerry's, and Pat's like, or wait, were you? Oh yeah, you were buying ice cream that day.
Yeah.
So Pat's like, he says to me, I'm like, come on, I'm buying ice cream. We got done dinner. So I said, nah, I'm good. We get there, and he is just out of his mind excited, talking to the girls. That's it, scoop it real good. He's screaming at the girls. And then she looks and she kind of gives him a, like, what's wrong with you look. And he goes, I just get out of the tink.
He goes, have you ever seen someone so excited to eat ice cream? And she goes, no. And I just looked up and went, I just got out of a 10-year stint in the tink. And then she looks at Bob and goes, what's the tink?
I don't know. I said, I don't know. But
she said, what's the tink? Then she saw Connor's shorts. And she had a theory.
Hashtag
she had a
life.
theory of what it was.
I think that's when the Euro step started this weekend, once he got that round of ice cream.
I think that's what it
like
is.
Like somebody got in his way and he Euro stepped around him.
But Bob, you really do enjoy ice cream too, though.
Kooky. I try not to partake. I don't. I did with Pat the first night we were here. I told you before, I'm not a very disciplined person. The one discipline I do have is I try not to do sweets like candy and ice cream and stuff like that. But Pat got me that first night.
How do you have that discipline when other disciplines, like what is the key to that for you?
I don't know. It directly relates to me. Like, all right, that's one thing that you shouldn't do because it'll make me personally, it'll make me fat.
Okay. Well, that's
so
good. That's great self-control.
It's making me fat too.
It's great self-control.
I still do it.
I will go home. I'll have a little bit. I still got one more little half envelope for today. But every single day in the positive, and I won nothing at the tables. I've never come to Vegas and not had a winning day at the tables one day of the trip. Every single day I've lost. And, Pat, you can agree, the tables have not been kind this weekend. They're not, and the blackjack dealers are rather ruthless.
Friday, I was cleaned out in 20 minutes. And yesterday, I spent about 45 minutes. And then I won like my final hand, and I thought I was up, so I tipped the dealer $5.
And you were not.
And it turns out I was $5 down. So I had to go back to the dealer and say, "Can I actually have that back?" So
no, you didn't, did you?
I was enough of a loser that last night with $10, knowing that I was $10 ahead on the day, I went to bed and said, you know what, I'll get 20 minutes extra sleep. I'm not going to play another hand because I just want to be able to say I'm ahead today. Because I got my backside handed to me every time I went to the tables this weekend.
Yeah, it was rough.
I was losing money.
But you know what? I think in the end we're winners, John, because
why is that?
We found friendship on this flight.
Oh, that is nice.
With Vince and the group of Philly Sports Trips.
It was
and the great
awesome.
people that we were with.
I didn't lose a cent gambling this weekend.
Yeah,
see that because you weren't gambling?
Yeah, because you're a nerd.
Oh,
Chevy
right.
and I were walking around the Luxor before John Dornbos's magic show the other day, and we went from, I said, I'm going to play this $20. And I went from machine to machine, and every single machine I hit. Every single one. We just went, machine, build it. Machine, hit. Every single one. And I've never seen that happen before.
Congratulations on your success.
It was luck. Blind luck. And I can't imagine the people who come to Vegas to just play slots.
Jamie, how much did you lose this weekend?
Jamie?
My picks weren't great.
No, they weren't because you lost a little money?
Yeah, I think I was 1-2 yesterday. Not a great day on the books.
But you're holding a Kyler Murray MVP ticket.
That I am, and that one looks pretty good. I would say the race right now is probably between Dak, Kyler, and Brady.
Yeah, but Dak's already lost a game.
Yeah, but, I mean, Kyler's eventually going to lose a game. Yeah, that's a pretty good ticket to be holding right now. And if I wanted, I could list it on PropSwap and cash out right now.
I'm wondering if I was going to suggest to you they play Green Bay on Thursday night. Would you?
Arizona, Green Bay? That's Thursday?
Thursday night. Would you? I would imagine on PropSwap Thursday you could get top dollar. And what if that Thursday night game doesn't go well against Rodgers?
Green Bay has some holes. Like, it's Rodgers, and it's always something you should be concerned about. But watching them play Washington yesterday, I wasn't thoroughly impressed. I think Arizona's legit.
So you think legit, really bad?
Oh, I like them a lot.
They have a lot of talent on that offense. And J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins walking off the field and then posting a picture together,
Right.
I'm sure that really hurt some Texans fans yesterday.
Bob, what were you you were saying something yesterday about our gathering and the fan base and that stadium yesterday, where honestly it was I don't know about 60-40 like Pat was saying, but it was absolutely a very, very mixed crowd. You could not tell who the home team was in that stadium yesterday, and that's crazy considering the distance we are from Philadelphia. But you thought there might have been a lesson in there.
Yeah, I just like I need this organization to remember how great this fan base is, and I need them to act responsibly towards this fan base. Like this fan base is like none other I've ever seen. We were on the plane the other night coming out here, and when the chant started, Egan looked at me and he's like, they have 2 wins. Like, they have 2 wins. They're not a good team.
It's absolutely crazy.
And you couldn't tell it by the fans. Yesterday we're in the stadium. Couldn't tell it at all. I tried to find a spot. And Pat and I, we did do some walking around the stadium. And we all walked together. It's pretty cool. From where we were, we walk over a bridge. There was not one point at all going through a casino, walking over that bridge, getting into the stadium, that it was overwhelmingly Raiders fans to Eagles fans.
No, not at all.
Like, not even a little bit. And my point just being, like, Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, don't forget that. Like, please remember that this has to get good again quickly. Like, you owe it to the fans to get this good again quickly. And if you've made a mistake on Nick Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon, fix it. I'm not calling for heads, but fix it. If Jalen Hurts isn't your quarterback, fix it. If you don't think you're good enough to make 3 really good draft picks, find someone who is. This fan base deserves it. And it was never more evident to me than the last few days that we've been out here.
Jamie, they Eagles fans took over Vegas.
Yeah, some of the videos I was seeing from you guys, and I saw E-Rock was hanging with you guys.
E-Rock did a great job yesterday. He was awesome.
He's awesome.
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, he's a good MC.
It did annoy me, though, because I requested In the Arms of the Angels by Sarah McLachlan at the pool party.
See?
And he said, no,
He refused?
He's like, I'm not playing that, bro.
He's getting ballsy then.
Yeah.
E-Rock, we appreciate him.
Oh,
he
man.
flew home on the red eye.
It's a good song.
That was the most I ever missed Jamie this week. Well, no, let me rephrase. That's the only time I missed Jamie this weekend was during the tailgate yesterday because that was so Jamie.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Jamie, you would have, like, 8:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, get into a
Bloody
beach
Mary,
bar.
Get me going by the pool.
And all the people, Jamie, the listeners who came out with us, courtesy of Philly Sports Trips, it is such a good crew of people.
Yeah.
That we got a chance to meet and talk to.
Vince and Bob run a tight ship,
They
so
started,
they got a great crew with them.
They started We Want the Seal chant for Jamie.
Yeah, they
'Cause
wheel.
They knew that Jamie was back home, so it was We Want
that
the
was
Seal.
No, that was Seal was actually performing.
Oh, he's got a
at-
residency.
Yes.
Oh, my mistake, Jamie.
So that was a little different. They
I
really didn't
apologize.
want you, Jamie, but we did miss you. And I texted you Saturday morning, and then Pat goes, "You're going to make him feel bad." And I said, I thought that would make you feel good that Saturday
No,
morning.
that was a very nice text. It's always nice to be missed.
I said we all at some point referenced on this trip we wish Jamie was here.
Yeah, I said it 2 or 3 times.
Like there was
yesterday.
something going on, and we'd go, "Boy, wish Jamie was here with us for this." So Jamie, no sex, no sex.
Okay,
Stop.
and I'll
Stop.
keep it nice and
future
in the pants
trips
for next year.
Future trips potentially in the mix. We do not want you and your sexual behaviors to be holding back this show from having a full team going.
I'll keep it in.
Jamie's
Okay?
a horny
Wear a mask.
fiend.
You
Stop
really
it.
are. Now, Pat, with working on the second child.
What?
So, I mean, is Pat, we don't want you working on the second child at this point.
That would require me to lose my virginity, Johnny.
Well, the
Hey,
first,
you guys be you. I'm not
sex
getting
one
into
time.
this.
Bob doesn't want
You
it.
guys be you. Let's
Bob's not-
Eagles.
Bob's not-
Sixers.
All of a sudden, Bob's uncomfortable about talking
Here's
about
the
sex.
Bob, yes. Bob's screeching it back,
Weird.
back onto the road. What does Nick Sirianni say today? Let's take some predictions.
Do we have to?
What? Yes. What does he say today? Because what level of gobbledygook is going to spew out of this man's mouth to try to explain it? And I'm setting the over/under on self-scouting at 5.5.
I will
5.5.
I'll say the excuse that he uses is, and he won't come out and then say, well, we could have been better if we had Miles Sanders, but somehow, some way, that will be used as an excuse because he's going to be asked about his play calling once again after that first drive. So he'll say something, well, we had to get off track because we lost Miles and then, whatever. But I also think it's going to be a day of and I need to be better, John. I really do.
So
I
you
think
this is the
he's
self-awareness day?
I think it is going to be a little bit of. There's going to be a tinge of that. Yes.
I'm going to call for something bold today. I think tomorrow morning we will be talking about Nick Sirianni throwing someone else under the bus.
Wow. Player?
Yes. I think it's going to be along the lines of we need he's going to put towards players. I think he's going to feel the heat. I don't think he's going to self-sacrifice himself. I don't think he's throwing himself in the volcano. I think he's going to be in a position today where we're going to hear things that make it sound like, look, we had a better plan than that. We have to execute our plan better. That's what I'm guessing. Patty, where are you leaning?
So I think he's going to blame a lot of the offense's failures on the fact that Miles Sanders got injured and the fact that Lane Johnson got injured and they had to move some things around. But the fact that, and look, I know that Gainwell had a costly fumble, but the fact that Boston Scott got his first touches of the season and had more carries than Gainwell is a problem.
It's an abomination.
That's ridiculous. So this guy wasn't good enough to carry the ball at all the first 6 weeks. But because Gainwell fumbles it, you're going to teach him a lesson and you're going to have him run the ball less than Boston Scott? Yeah, whatever excuse he's going to use, it's not going to be a good one, but I think he's going to use the injuries as an excuse.
Jamie, do you think it will be excuse-making, which is where the other guys are leaning, or do you think it's going to be a little self-reflection? What's the plan?
They're going to self-scout. He's going to take the blame first. He's going to have to say, I got to put my guys in the position to succeed. I think he'll say mostly the right things. I don't think he's going to throw anybody under the bus, because if he starts throwing people under the bus, then he's going to lose that locker room. Because they're at a divisive point of this season. They're a 3.5-point favorite heading to Detroit, and if they lose to a winless Lions team, that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. So I think he's got to tread real lightly this week.
How does he end? I mean, how do you get to the point where now you're going to say, it's my responsibility? Because then he puts himself, Bob, right in the target.
He does, and usually that's something that a confident, a successful, a long-tenured head coach does, right? That's not usually something that a first-year head coach would do.
Right.
So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he steers clear from that a little bit, doesn't go overboard. But I think he's got to let the people know, he's got to let his team know that I'm not doing a good job right now and I need to do better. And somehow, some way, he's got to convey that message.
Sticky T-shirt today, or does he just come out in Eagles gear?
Oh, it's Eagles gear. That's
Eagles gear.
Yeah.
So he doesn't go with any of the shtick.
I don't know. The Union had a big win on Saturday, back up to second place. Maybe he comes
they're
out
second in the conference now.
Yeah,
right?
maybe he comes out duping his butt off.
Can they hire Jim Curtin?
I don't believe so. He does know footy.
He plays football.
He does know it.
He coaches football.
But
football. I'm going to be the opposite.
So
of Ted
Jamie, do
Lasso.
you agree? Just Eagles gear today?
Yeah, I think
no sticky T-shirts.
Yeah, I think he plays it safe down the middle with just
that
an
would
Eagles
take
gear.
balls to come out with some kind of
The Ben Simmons shirt.
Yeah. Okay.
At some point this week, that comes out.
I don't think so.
No, you think he's away from that now?
I think he wears some shtick, but it's more of closer to game day.
Something more
not
like
day
that.
after loss, because day after loss nobody wants. I don't want to see it anyway. But
Jeffrey Lurie, are you listening? So we get ready to summarize today. Are you listening?
He's Mopar.
Do you hear your fan base? Do you hear your consumers? Do you hear your customers? Let us tell you, your customers that were here in Las Vegas, we met up with most of them. Whether they were on our trip or not, we met them going into the stadium, coming out of the stadium yesterday, in bars, in restaurants. They love your football team. They love your product. You are sitting on the greatest source of civic pride that our community has in the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's true.
And he's derelict in his duties right now that he's ignoring the fact that he's letting something which creates such unity, such community, such camaraderie, and he's letting it get run down. I think at some point, I know Jeffrey Lurie likes to have his preseason speak and then his postseason speak. At some point, this is going to have to be spoken for. And there's going to have to be a message of, we've got this. There's social media. There's other ways. I need to know that the owner's engaged. I really do. I don't want him to be Jerry Jones, but I want him to acknowledge what his fan base is being subjected to. Because as Bob said, they traveled in great numbers. They came to be entertained, and they're not.
Yeah,
they don't believe it.
I think if we hear that Jeffrey Lurie's getting behind a microphone,
it's bad news.
Yeah, maybe not for the fan base.
How about just
but
a
it's
message
bad news
to the
for,
fans?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the first time he talks is going to be a goodbye session to
Oh,
Nick
geez.
Sirianni. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a little scary.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
is real. That's a scary thought. All right, we will be flying back later this afternoon. We will be back with you tomorrow in studio. We will all be reunited again, and we appreciate so much everybody who joined us on the trip. The folks from Philly Sports Trips who we partnered with coming out here. A great time. We had a great one, and they have many more trips coming. Cuz and Chunis will be going out to Denver with them. You want to check out Philly Sports Trips. They have great events. They do it first class. It is a great team. But I want to acknowledge, too, Coach, Dylan, doing a great job. When we're apart as a group, this is really hard to execute sometimes. And honestly, Coach is like a mad scientist. And Dylan did a great job filling in for you, Pat. In fact, maybe too good. I was told.
Wow.
Maybe too good.
It doesn't help that he makes it known he'll work for York Peppermint
Wow.
Patties.
Yeah, it is too. So it's tough. And Jamie, we missed
you
you.
guys were cutting out in and out there for a second.
Yeah, we missed you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Heavy Chevy, great job
safe
on
journeys,
site.
boys.
Grussman, to engineer an outfit like this is not easy. Cross country, we appreciate him. And he did not want to spend one more minute with us than he had to. That was part of the
Smart
plan.
man.
He had that worked into his deal. And Connor Thomas, great job. Thanks for the great content. Those great dance moves from Pat Egan, though, will be remembered forever. Support life-saving cancer research. Join us and our generous partner, Adam Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, and make a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research today at 975thefanatic.com/AACR, because cancer research saves lives. Got around time for to pack, shower, eat breakfast, and maybe an hour and a half of blackjack before we go home. We'll be back tomorrow with you on the John Kincade Show. Have a great day, everybody. Cuz Radio comes your way next.